Yeah, so that's why my nipple looks like that now.
Buonasera a tutti.
What the
Good
fuck
evening.
was that noise?
That was
Ibiza.
that was beautiful.
There's a party on that nipple.
Jordan, if I was
No, let's
okay.
stop that fucking train immediately.
Good evening,
Hey,
everyone.
welcome to Fate Script.
Buonasera a tutti. Welcome to Fate Script, episode 11.
I liked it.
I've left
visitor.
you for like 3 weeks. Chill.
Yeah. Oh, look, it's self-inflicted, so I can't complain.
Oh, I think I know also why this is happening. Anywho,
Oh no! Behold my 9 to 5.
go away. Not you.
Okay. Could you move your chair so I could leave?
Welcome everyone. The stream, I'll just announce, the stream is considered unstable, so apologies if we go offline for whatever reason. That's because it is emulating my mind. Anyway, welcome you three. Unfortunately, in the stead of Sheldon being here, unfortunately he cannot be here this evening.
He ate a bad kebab, and I feel like it's fair to announce.
Yeah, all the jokes about like the characters having the squirts, and
He genuinely ate a bad kebab. That's why he's not here.
It's actually wet.
Basically.
Ivor has the
Ew!
squirts.
Stop! Stop it!
Amazing.
Accurate though.
Amazing.
Also gross.
Very. So, let's have some shout-outs done. I guess I'll start with Ardent Roleplay. This evening, the Dragon Horde card will be possibly played if the situation is right. And you yourself can enhance your D&D sessions
arms
by
so much, Jordan.
getting these cards and downloading the app and
We could
subscribing
also
to
just-
Ardent Roleplay, who are great people as well as awesome creators of this AR experience for your D&D and Call of Cthulhu games. Ardent Roleplay.
Help me.
Second shout out.
Hey, let's shout out Last Told Games.
Whoa!
Amazing.
If
Who's
you
pro streamer over here?
yeah, if you can't have the real thing, why not get yourself a plastic Sheldon?
Yeah.
Last Told Games, great company, do a whole bunch of good stuff. One of those things is you can get yourself
Another one.
scanned and put into minis.
Ooh, I ate a bad kebab.
So you can always keep Sheldon with you when he eats bad kebabs.
A whole bunch of cool accessories that you can, I guess, stylize your miniature with. They're adding new stuff all the time, so I believe there's probably a whole bunch of new packages since we got ours done. Super high quality as well.
Yeah.
Might not be able to see it with our cameras, but
Here, let me prove it.
all the little individual hairlines and whatnot, all the spikes, even the thin bits, quite solid. Great little company, do great products. Last Old Games, check them out.
You can sleep next to it as well if you want. Put it on your bedside table.
Wow,
Or in your bed if you want.
that's a bust.
Oh.
Oh gosh.
Last whole games might not endorse that. I don't know.
I'm unhappy to be here.
Welcome back, Emily. What would you like to mention to our amazing guests?
I'd like to first start by mentioning if I blink 3 times consecutively, that means help.
Nice.
No, hey, it's been a while. It's been a while. And we're back and we're hanging out and I'm back and we're all hanging out except for Sheldon. Ooh, I ate a bad kebab. He's gonna hate us.
He's probably sitting on the dunny right now being like, oh.
Anyway,
Watching us. or-
hey, you know where you can see us all together because seeing us together is better than seeing us individually. That's
I'm really
too
quite
time
boring.
consuming and we all live in different homes. And where you can see us together is
That's a way
on...
to tell me you're breaking up with me.
Anyway, on the 13th of April of next month, what the fuck?
He said we live in all separate homes.
On the 13th of April, you can come down to the Gold Coast Convention Centre, and you can watch us do a panel at Supernova, where we'll be returning with our panel D&D, but you roll for us with Fate Script. Come hang out. We're going to be doing some stuff, but you guys are going to be making the choices and rolling the dices. The dices?
There might be more than one
The dices.
There isn't, but there might be.
For us. It's going to be a lot of fun. It always is. I think last time some cooked stuff was said. It was also the debut of these characters last time. First time we ever played them. So, yeah, come hang out. Live your not-so-best life with us.
What?
Your most methody life.
Promethean said the deuce, which I don't really. Oh, sorry, it's the dice.
It's like dice except dice.
Oh, sure. Oh,
Jeez. No.
amazing.
Hey, thanks for the sub.
Thank you
Appreciate
very
it.
much. Lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, massive thank you, actually, Promethean. 24 months.
20,
And also
28, I
Kate,
believe.
thanks
28
for the sub.
months.
28. Kate 19.
K19, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for all your participation.
Here, have a
Like
noise for appreciation.
Yummy.
I swear. No, I won't swear. It's not very good. So, that was beautiful.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
So, we're going to recap now. Goodness gracious me. That is all of our shout outs for the evening.
If you could do a detailed recap, that would be great. Because I think I've just been floating around.
You have been. You've been following the crew. Feel free for the next part of the session, or the first part of the session at least, to fill in anything I've missed. Whoa. Ah, that's why.
Whoa!
Whoa. Whoa.
Oh, oh.
That'll do it. Beautiful.
I
So,
forgot what song that was.
we'll recap,
no.
and then you can fill in any gaps that you think I've missed. So, the defeat of the Metal Corpse Collector, and
Gross.
then discovering the false bones of the 12 in the crypt of this prisoner. You felt invigorated, and you all, with the help of the dwarves of House Jorasco, who helped you in that fight with the dead, ventured into the mysterious stairwell, discovering Captain Troon trapped. Rescuing him made him determined, and with the rest, he left for House Denise to prepare for an assault on Vedica with loyalists of the town, as well as perhaps mercenaries. You learned more about each other in notes now read, and more about Lila Jadu. Only some of that information was shared. And Ivor put a ring on his finger and heard a voice in his mind. You had been invited to receive a reward from these dwarves of the Maror Holds when you saw fit. Though currently, though you destroyed this daughter of the captain. Thank you very much for the sub. Though you destroyed the daughter of the captain, her remains now dust in that crypt where the coffins were of stone. The captain, Gerol, is still missing, not confirmed dead. And there is a subtle pause as the evening wound by, and Lila Jadu was going to attempt overnight to get into contact with the 12 themselves, bypassing the administration to try and get help quickly, for this danger seems to be ever more creeping up on you. So with that in mind, the day dawns, and Ivor put on the ring. Ivor just furrows his brow a little, his dwarven face set in a concentrated look towards this ring. Thank you very much for the sub, anonymous person. Thank you. You, for a moment, have a pause in his speech, and all of a sudden, he turns and Lila lets out a little giggle. I'm sorry, that was just a little joke. That was my voice in the ring. Is it saying anything to you? And she looks over to you and she says, I've had confirmation of a part of a spell I was going to teach yourself and Ivor. I can teach that to you now. The spell that together can suspend someone at the point of death. It will take some time and preparation, but I now have that knowledge, should you wish to be imparted with that skill. Though I do want to see the dwarves. The note that Captain Troon also gave us did say that he wanted us to wait for a sign, a signal, to join him. But for now, he's still preparing. So it seems like we have a moment of peace. Though it is something that sits on the precipice, I think we can prepare ourselves. I'm sorry, Ivor. It was a little trick. It was just my voice through the ring that you heard. He shakes his hand, takes out the ring and just tosses it onto the floor. That pink swirling stone no longer moves.
You're just going to toss that on the floor?
Yeah, it's not really worth anything, is it?
Is that not in character, but it looks made of gold, yeah?
It is. It's gold inlaid with that pink stone, looking almost pearlescent.
I wouldn't be so sure of that.
No, take it then.
Yeah, right.
You pick it up.
Yep. I won't put it on. I'll just pocket it.
Nice.
I mean, yes, I'd love to learn that spell. It could be helpful for this group and for anyone else who I might come across in need. But is now the best time?
I think we should see the dwarves and see what reward they have for us and for you. If they can give you something that will aid you in the coming fight, then I think it is best to strengthen ourselves.
Is this magic incarnation that I can read from a book, or is this something that I must Semitically cast?
I have noted down the words to speak, though I must guide you through them the first time. Feel free. We can on the way. I can on the way impart that knowledge.
Of course, if you don't mind, I'll write that down.
I also have an answer to the message that I sent back to the 12. There is one that answered. Avalea. She will be here shortly.
Have I heard that name before?
You recall quickly the night before, Lila imparting some knowledge to you to keep private?
Yeah, I think this is...
Yes, your guess is correct.
Yeah, because of things. Get my notes from last session.
That's right. Let me give you that out of character. You remember?
All right, yeah.
Yep, cool.
I'll look at it with just off of last night's of what she told me. I'll look to see if she feels comfortable about this. I guess an insight check.
Yeah, sure, go for it. You do that with advantage.
that's better. 20.
You can see quite clearly that she looks quite uncomfortable with that reply. Well, with that help that you'll be receiving. She looks downtrodden, almost sad.
She gonna get in trouble?
Lila continues and she says, Avalea is powerful, authoritative, and I have met her a couple of times. She looks at you, and she says, I've met her a couple of times and she is not pleasant. So please, you can, and I give you permission to be not pleasant to her either. Her reply was short and all she said was that she will arrive to rid the city of whatever danger it has and report back as to my failures to the administration.
Maybe you could learn something from her.
I've learned enough, but I will still look on her power and hopefully pick something up.
What is she talking about failures?
First sentiment? Sentiment.
It's
Just having a
Perhaps-
stroke over there.
it perhaps lies a little
Medicine
deeper.
check.
It perhaps lies a little deeper as a response to things you may know about my interactions with her. But suffice to say, she was disappointed to hear that the town has not been rid of its dangers because of me. I have not been successful.
Well, would you like me to remind her that she has done nothing?
Well, she was also... can we perhaps walk and talk? We don't know when we'll get that message from Captain Troon, and if we are at the dwarves, we can get that reward quickly. On the way, I can explain more.
Yeah, I'd kind of like to know if the dwarves found out anything about all those Jorasco bodies at the warehouse.
Perhaps they will.
I'd
Well, we
also
can
like
ask
to
them.
know what you mean when you say she's unpleasant.
It's just simply very upfront, honest. But she is very snobbish. She looks down on others. She is one of the 12. One of the only available of the 12, which is why she responded first. Her current or most recent mission has taken her to to find allies in one of the outer planes. She can travel like that. Quite easily, actually.
She can teleport?
It's not a teleportation per se. She's not appearing in one place and then another ink or there. She's
just doing it in
She's-
different realms,
realms.
so she can teleport.
That is one way to look at it, yes.
Okay. Good to know the 12 are above the law.
Did she say anything about her fake bones?
I didn't mention that. I didn't mention it because I didn't want her to be put off by coming here. I wanted her to see that the danger was external, and I didn't want her to feel like there was any danger to herself.
I don't know. I guess if she's as self-important as you say she is, maybe she'd like to know that her own bones exist.
Thinking the same thing. If she looks
Maybe
down
it's a bit of
on
an
others.
ego boost.
The problem with that I can see is that would then put her at a single-minded purpose, and she would possibly forget that there was another danger of Vedeka abound.
What would you think that single-minded purpose would be to
Save herself.
and not destroy this undead plague? That
Correct.
Would be, wow.
What if we just told her about Farizo's bones?
I can do that, yes.
We can just tell them in person if we're going to see her anyway.
I mean, we can just let them into the armory. investigated themselves.
I mean, you guys really took the lead on that one, so
Yeah, we
I'll
did
just
well.
sit back.
No, let's see. Here, you have this, and I'll give her Friezo's fake femur bone.
I actually have
Ew.
Yeah, when if she starts being, mean and whatnot, just throw that in her face and go, yeah, well, I found all of this information that maybe you'd like to know. I was doing nothing. What is this? Is this nothing? And then you accentuate your voice, and then it really puts them off.
Are you okay? Do you need to learn how to, like, control your temper?
No, I'm fine.
He's role playing.
The fourth wall!
I'm just giving her some advice.
Yeah, you do this weird thing where you kind of get quite aggressive with it. It's almost like you're standing there going,
Yeah, it's all part of it. You need to get all staunch. Otherwise, if this lady comes in here and she's all snobbish and whatnot, and then she thinks she's got it over her, she's go boom.
Yeah.
there are better ways to get
Or
what you
staunch the
want
12.
that aren't staunching them.
Ah, it's called big dogging.
Okay. I preferred a little dog, I guess.
Keep walking.
Your
What the fuck just happened?
Before you did leave Lila's home, which incidentally coldness did still creep through the cracks in the wood, were you wanting to do anything else under the
barked at
cover
me.
of shelter before you left the home?
No, I think I'm
I
good.
think I'm pretty good.
Okay.
So, yeah.
As you made your way outside into the cold morning, you see icicles on the canopies of roofs. You see a frozen landscape of homes tightly packed as though they themselves need comfort in each other to be as close as possible against the cold in the warmth. You notice that there's that dusting of snow on the ground that hasn't been trodden on yet. The sun only barely rising up in the dawn of the day. You hear the distant sounds of a screeching bird and then a reply as nature rises for another morning. Otherwise, only the barest person or two greet you and pass you by as you walk swiftly. In the stillness of the air, no wind this time is buffeting you towards the dwarves and House Jorasco. You make it there without fuss. During that time, Lila whispers in a soft voice at you and at Ivor, and together you come to understand the intricacies of this spell that must be cast together at the same time with the same voice. A suspension of life. By the time you arrive, you almost grasp the spell entirely, but there are still some nuances that you need a little more time to practice. So over the next hour, if you'd like, you can go through her writing and
Yeah.
learn.
I guess.
It'll take another hour.
Yeah, I'll whatever free downtime we have, without being obnoxious. I mean, how long's the walk there?
The walk itself was about 20 minutes.
Yeah. I guess if we got into our destination, I'll close the book up to acknowledge where I am in case something happens.
Cool.
And then if there's free time, I'll have a look.
Okay. You arrive at...
Spend life? Is that what you call it?
Yes. You arrive at this hospital. You can see House Jorasco and its emblems draped in massive canvases and flags all around the building. It's a 5-story behemoth of a place. The emblems are of that griffin, with healing hands over the top that envelop this emblem, and laurels that completely surround the inside.
Like, fire alarm.
Yeah, completely surround the outside of this griffin, but inside of these golden nimbus hands with other sprouting plants and flowers adorning. This griffin stands proudly as it almost watches you enter. The doors are open and they are inviting. As you enter, you see a massive room which has no desk, no greeting area, but what it does seem to have are beds. This large room is the first of 5 levels of healing of this healing house, and there are about 60 to 70 beds that are hardly filled. There are a few people of Vedikar that seem to be on these beds being tended to by members of House Jorasco. You also you smell a mixture of different senses, medicines that you smell vinegars, soaps. You smell, though, conversely, soot, and you hear a distant hammering, but you don't quite know from where. You see a staircase in the very center of this ground floor leading upward, a spiral staircase going up into the second and other levels. And immediately as you enter in, you see this figure walking towards you. Tall for a dwarf, but just shorter than you, and you're tall as it is. You'd see a dwarf you don't recognize stride forward. He has an air of authority with him. He's got deep blonde braided beard that goes down to the floor. It looks like he has this top knot as well of a long hair, blonde as well. You can see wrinkles adorning his face, though he has these eyes that twinkle of mirth and youth, of shimmering blue. He's muscular underneath these long sleeves of House Jorasco, the similar yellow look, though you can see that he's got a large golden necklace on the outside that signals authority. His hands are dirty, but not from blood or from healing, but from black dust. He looks at you as he walks towards you. Welcome. We've been expecting you. I've heard of you coming. I am Frinkle, at your service.
Ren will try not to smirk at Frinkle.
If you could, your rewards are downstairs.
Yeah, are you friends with Ulth and Broleg and Garland?
This was Fergan.
Ferg.
You're friends with him?
Aye.
Duh. Got bad friends.
I'm sorry, I'm not understanding. They're loyal to the house, loyal to the Broholds.
No, the other two are good. Just Fergan.
I think
You really holding a grudge?
Yes.
It's very dwarfish of you.
perhaps, and I hope with time, you can see past any slight that he's given you.
I think time is exactly what Rin needs, like maybe a couple of birthdays.
Okay. If it takes that long, then I respect it. They're waiting for you with
It was
their...
a scary eye contact we both made too long afterwards.
They're waiting for you as well with some things you may enjoy. Shall we?
Just make sure you don't sneeze around our friend.
Frinkle looks a bit confused.
It's a cultural thing. It's fine.
Well,
No, I think it's just a immaturity thing.
What do you mean immaturity?
Don't worry about her. She's always sarcastic.
You know, the youth these days.
You're young.
You don't know how old I am.
What are you, like 23?
You don't know.
Inside.
you'd probably need to make a nature check more than
Okay.
insight because she
gonna
didn't.
check your
She didn't
nature.
actually give you a lie or a truth.
Nah, my nature shit. Cantrip myself?
Think you have to do it before the roll, but sure.
Alright, well then it's without that. It's a 11.
It's difficult to
Average.
tell.
I do look a little bit old.
Yes, probably why she's so grumpy all the time. Sore bones.
Haven't you got a stick to chase?
Why would I chase a stick?
He's leading you
Woof.
towards the staircase at this point. Still looking towards you, confused at that statement. He unfurls his cloak slightly, and you can see as he's walking, his cloak is draping behind him, a golden yellow silken a piece that drags along the floor of tile. It's beautiful. And to this effect, you don't remember your other dwarven acquaintances dressed so intricately. You can only assume that Frinkle may be a higher up in House Jorasco or the Morale Halls. You're not sure. He leads you down these spiral stairs where the hammering becomes louder. As it does, you find yourselves in torchlight once more, and the smell of soot, charcoal, and metal and fire hastening to your senses, and dust is abound. As you do walk lower into the depths of this darkness, I will need you are enveloped in this environment, and I am going to need for each of you to roll a Constitution saving throw, please.
Whoa. Constitution. I'm so excited. I haven't rolled dice in so long. Ooh. That wasn't awful. Constitution saving.
12.
23.
14.
Okay.
Ivor's dead.
No, Ivor is absolutely fine. Though it's tempting, you all just shake yourselves off, and your body breathes in this air fairly comfortably.
It's like Swiss. And
Yeah, you reach
It's like when you go to Vietnam and like the air just feels a bit thicker.
a bit thicker.
Yeah, right.
You reach the bottom of the stair.
True thing.
Yeah.
thinking of a different thing. Too.
And as you look ahead, you see that you've reached black stone, not dissimilar to the crypt's floor. And for a moment you look down and you see that it's glass-like in appearance, shining and reflective. But it reflects more positive and happy light. As you look ahead, you see a massive anvil, bellows, and a fire pit, as several dwarves seem to have unadorned their House Jorasco garments, and in their place have these blackened grey cloaks and visors that shield their eyes from sparks that come out of these every few seconds, a hammering of steel on steel. You see massive pools of water that swords, hammers, axes seem to be red hot in appearance, being put into with gloved hands, and you hear this shh as that heat meets water, and the bubbling of that pool just explodes out with steam and heat. And one massive anvil sits at the very center of this room, where stairs have to lead up to it for dwarves to use their blacksmithing tools to forge. Finkel follows you, leads you down further.
Sorry, just to confirm, Finkel or Frinkle?
It is
Finkel.
Finkel.
No, cool. Okay.
Appreciate it. Yeah. So Finkel leads you down, and he asks you to wait a moment as you see your previous compatriots also tentatively walk towards you. You notice that there's, as usual, Broleg, Ulthin, and Fergan. Fergan being the one that is further behind than the other two, almost ignoring your presence completely, as they seem to be finishing off with some things, forging some things. Ulthin particularly looks like he has finished what looks to be... Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
That's for the chat.
I'll do it anyway. He's finishing touches on a particularly large and long and heavy-looking breastplate. And he gives it a bit of a look with two hands, and he uses a hammer to hammer it a little more, bends it a little bit more, hammers a little more, and you watch as he takes it down these steps of the anvil and towards you. And Ulthin greets you and he says, "Welcome. Do you have anything magical that I could fill this with?" And he points towards a small pocket in the breastplate, the very center where the solar plexus would be.
I have that gem. The protection gem that I don't know what it does.
Are you mentioning that to them?
It was a gem, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a sapphire.
Yeah, sapphire. I do, but I'm not quite sure what this does. I know it is some kind of protection, and I'll pull out the sapphire and show it to him.
He requests taking it from you. Are you giving it to him?
Yeah, okay.
As you place it in his gloved hand, he takes something out of his pocket, and it's essentially a long frame with a very, very large, thick monocle lens, and he places it over his right ear, sorry, and he twists this monocle over his eye, and he sort of adjusts it, looks towards all of you and says, "Hey, how do I look?" And he turns towards you, and his smile drops. And he instantly smiles again. "Well, look good."
Yes.
It's all dusted. It's half broken. It's not a fancy item. It's just one that is looks like it's a piece of glass that's been chiseled into a half circle.
Yeah, it looks practical.
"Oh, thank you." And he looks down with his white beard at this sapphire, and he gives it a couple of seconds, and he says, I can use this. Thank you." And he says, "I got something special for you then."
May I insight the look I was given, please?
Sure.
Fuck off. It's my first session back. That's an 8.
An 8? Okay. No, it was just for the briefest moment.
Feel unattractive.
And he just he disregarded you basically a second later, so it's
Okay.
difficult to tell
Good to know.
what that was about.
It's because you're cold.
How dareth thou?
As he looks down at that at that sapphire, he places it in that particular point where you can see it fits perfectly. He looks at you and smiles. He says, "Thank you. That's going to help. It'll make this thing really shine."
That's interesting. Could you
Give
tell
me-
me more?
Oh, I can tell you once I forge it good. I'll be back in a moment. Actually, I might need maybe 45 minutes. Make yourself at home. Go over there. And he points towards a little alcove where there seems to be almost a pop-up bar with tall chairs, tall tables, small round ones, and a little pocket bar that seems to have a dwarf that has this short brown beard that seems to be he's the bartender, but he's behind the bar, but he's pouring himself drinks. He's the only person there, and he's just chugging away.
Should we go get a drink?
Yeah, I think I need one now.
You okay? What do you mean now?
Yeah, it's been a long couple of days. Jeez.
Actually,
Also, I worked at a pub. I'm having like withdrawal symptoms.
fair enough.
Oh, I've got something for you too. You might a gift from the Moral Holds. If you find yourself hankering for a bit of souvenir. Do you want it now? I'll bring it over once I'm done with the thing with the armor.
I can come and see it if you'd prefer.
No, it's not quite done yet. Give us a moment. I'm enhancing it a little. At least Fergus is. You can say hi to Fergus again, hey?
No, it's good to see you, Alton and Brolag.
Okay.
And Fergan.
Right. Anyway, make yourself at home. Drinks are on me. Go for it. They're imports as well. Barrels that we brought over from the Moral Holds. It's strong stuff.
Who's your friend over there drinking?
Oh, that's just a bartender. He's not a friend per se, but he's good.
All right, well, let's go.
It's not really what I was expecting from a hospital.
Yeah, actually, neither am I. Where is your emergency wards? Does many of the guards make it here from that?
At that point, you see Finkel turn and he says, the emergencies are all 5 levels. Thankfully, the people who are injured and the recent Stone Guard, they were sent here straight away and they're all fine. The ones that lived at least. We got the corpses as well. They're still under ice below this level.
Interesting. They've got ice underneath the forge.
Yay.
Anyway, like I said, can I join you for a drink?
Yes, let's not tarry here.
Yeah, we should probably talk about what happened at the warehouses.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I got some stuff to share about that too.
yeah, if you know anything about the Lady of Lips, that would also be quite helpful.
By that stage, you've taken a seat at one of these tall stools and tables, and you can see that the barkeep, short, a little less stocky. He looks almost young for a dwarf. That shorter beard and the no wrinkles on the skin. He looks like he's hardly lifted an axe, though he still has that really muscular, though still going to be filled out body. Those broad shoulders are still getting to a point of being stocky, and he reaches up to put the beers on the table, and he says, "My name's Vugbo. If you need anything, you let me know." And he goes back to his.
Gosh.
He had this heavy smell when he breathed and spoke of this of the same smell that you're drinking. this fine amber-looking ale.
What do you want?
Finkel says, "No, sorry, it's just this and water.
Yeah, I'll take this.
Yeah, I'll take some of this.
Night wood ale."
You having some, Rin?
Okay,
Yeah.
sir.
Don't think you know the gravity of it. This is rare stuff, highly sought after. Sip it.
Have I heard of this before?
Oh, easily. This is the. Though this particular ale isn't imported from the Moror Holds, it is certainly the far and wide a very famous beer. It's made from the
Like hard to come by, or?
it's hard to produce. It's from the sap of these from the sap of the trees from the nightwood, which is north of you, and the production of this is difficult to master.
Right.
As you taste it, it tastes initially like a sweet honey. Then the alcohol kicks in, and you have that sense of syrup. A combination of that, even as though you're drinking a little bit of sweet bark, and it goes down very, very nicely.
All right. Well,
I understand the gravity of the situation. With
Okay.
this, ale, I am in fact a connoisseur. I know my alcohol well.
Lila
Not like real life.
Lila gives a little giggle and drinks her own just water.
Hey, what are you laughing at?
She just shakes her head.
Insight.
Okay.
Fuck you, Lila. It's so much better than last time. 9. Fuck off, you two.
It's just warming up. You can't quite understand why she laughed. She wasn't looking at you when she did as well, so it's probably just coincidence.
Okay, good to know.
She takes a sip of water. Finkel says, that's Vogbo. If you need anything, you can just yell out for him.
this is all very pleasant. And I thank you for the gifts.
There's something coming out for you as well. An apology more than anything. We don't normally,
Sneeze.
correct. We're quite.
What is your problem?
Oh, I don't have a problem. I just find it.
You're always so sarcastic. You don't take anything seriously.
And I do take things seriously. Thank you.
Why are you giving Lila grief?
Because we were made promises, or not promises, but I had certain expectations that I feel like could have been met that certainly weren't, until Lila did something wrong, which I feel like, speaks for itself.
Can I have an understanding as to what I did wrong?
Oh, no, in the eyes of the 12, apparently. It's just interesting that you couldn't call them here, but the second you do something wrong, they're interested in coming to see us. It's almost like you are more important than you say you are, but you don't use that import to benefit others.
She looks at you with a blank face.
Okay. Second of all, I do take things seriously. I just know when to take things seriously. And I understand that the sneezing is an upbringing difference. But unfortunately, you are going to run into a lot of people that sneeze. In fact, you yourself may sneeze one day soon.
I have never sneezed and I never will. Unless someone pisses me off and then I'll do it on purpose in their face.
Do you have a little sick upstairs, just out of interest, before we walk into
There's like
any
soot,
emergency
right?
rooms?
There's like soot everywhere. Could I easily get like a
A handful of it?
soot?
Yep.
straight into your
Roll initiative.
nose.
Constitution save.
Yeah.
22. Okay. That is what you do. That's what you do so you don't make people upset around you. Or you run. If you think that you're going to do it, you run and you get away from them. And you go do it by yourself where no one will hear.
One day, you will sneeze.
Never.
And when you do,
Unless it's on purpose because you pissed me off.
and when you do, I'll be waiting.
This is a very sensitive issue for me. You don't want to end up like Fergan.
What? Alive?
I'm thinking very mean thoughts about him right now.
Ooh, do it. Ouch.
I don't know, I've been getting little mental powers. Maybe it'll do something one day.
Try me.
This is what I mean. Lila, I'm with you.
Lila gives a small smile and she says, I think you like each other more than you let on.
Ew.
So, Finkel.
Is your face just all sooty?
It's
Yeah, I
all
guess so.
blackened. Yeah. The fur, it's matted with fur. Yeah.
Yeah, it matches the tattered, stained clothes.
Go on.
Oh, is this like a pot with water in it?
Yeah.
I'll just grab a mug of water and put it in front of
Mm-hmm.
Rin. And so, remind me, I don't know if your friends told you, we were supposed to be meeting. Is it not the governor or something? Is he residing here or?
Governor
Yeah.
of House Jorasco?
No, of the city as well. I thought that they were going to go back.
Oh, the mayor.
The mayor, that's it.
Of course. Yeah, that is what we're trying to understand. Where the hell they are. Yeah.
So he is missing.
Well, that's what we're trying to find out. Yeah.
We're trying to find out if he's missing?
Yeah.
As in you haven't checked the mayor's residence?
Members of House Jorasco are currently
Right,
in that quest. Yeah.
I'm really sorry to interrupt. Can I just be really selfish for one moment? Dante, my little brother who is lurking in the chat, he's not posting in it, but him and Dad have been lurking, is actually about to hit the stage at his first open mic night where he's going to play the drums.
Oh,
Good luck.
Good luck.
Amazing.
Well, not first. He's done it before, but like first that I'm aware of.
Well done. Well done. Enjoy.
He's very
that.
good too. He's
Yeah.
very, very
Good
good.
luck, Dante.
Good luck. Okay. So.
As in a quest, how far away does he live?
Oh, he lives. Now that we've understood where that we need to check on him, I guess we may have an answer in about
The ash one.
maybe 15, 20 minutes. So long as
Maybe it's the alcohol. Is it a quest to walk down the street to check in a house?
we dwarves have a high regard for adventure.
Right.
We get it in our heads that, or they do at least, that we've got some sort of life's drive, something to drive us, something to have us quest.
Well, how about I get into the spirit of things and may I quest for another ale?
You can.
I actually make that noise.
Vugbo! And you can see the dwarf again, the barkeep, come back. He's drinking his own ale at the time. Hey, how you doing? I'll get some beer into you. And he pours another couple.
I'll get the beer into me myself. Thank you.
No, I can help if you need.
I
If
mean-
you need a hand, please let me know.
I'm sure Kalani would like it poured in her mouth.
Kailani. Sounds dwarvish.
I can very much assure you it is not.
Isn't it
Up
dwarvish?
for a bit of a spin later on.
What does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Just a bit of a twirl.
Oh, I don't dance.
You gonna
Um,
spin?
I'm talking about the horizontal side of dancing.
That sounds absolutely atrocious, and I would rather throw myself into the 7 layers of hell.
Simple no would have sufficed, but that's okay. I've been told many a plenty of.
What do you mean horizontal?
Maybe if you're lucky, Rin will show you later.
Be like
I'm pretty sure he doesn't do horizontal.
two handing the mug and probably about halfway through the first one now.
Vugbug goes back after he pulls that and tries to make a pass at you, Lani, and goes back behind the bar, continues to drink. Finkel says, I think we best talk about the corpses that we collected from the warehouse.
Yes, why don't we?
Yeah, what is happening at the warehouse? We thought we set it on fire, but we didn't see any smoke.
Well, by the time we got there, everything was burnt. Perhaps, though, someone seemed to have put it out, but not by water. Perhaps by magic. We got there quickly to retrieve some of the corpses to investigate them.
Did you go with the town guard or with the
House Denise?
house beneath? So what happened? We don't know what happened to the town guard then.
No. There were no signs of them by the time we got there. Not sure if there were people guarding them or...
Totally undead now.
You saying that out loud?
Yeah, they probably are.
It's funny you should mention undead. Some of their corpses, though they should have been dead long ago, they were moving. We took our access to their heads quite quickly, splayed their brains, but they definitely were moving beforehand.
Did you encounter any vampires there as well?
Vampires?
Sorry, it's just how direct you are. It's quite funny.
Is it?
Yeah. Usually people would be like, hey, we saw something really interesting down there. Hope you haven't encountered this, but haven't happened to see anything like this before. You're like, you seen any vampires?
Well, I mean,
Is that a good interpretation? I'm not quite sure.
questing would mean I have to get to the point.
Questing.
Yes.
Right. Do you do this very often?
I'm sorry, I'm not quite sure what you mean. Vampires, you said?
Yes, correct.
What is that?
Your friends didn't tell you encountered one in the armory.
You know those human-looking creatures that, instead of drinking ale, blood.
Well, that's disgusting. Why would anyone want to do that?
I mean, you can ask one when you see one. I'm sure they're around.
What do they look like apart from human-like?
That?
Are they always human?
I don't know. I've not really seen too
no,
many
they-
myself.
They can come. It's more of a curse of sorts.
Curse? I'd
You
be
know
on the
more than
lookout
I?
for it. Finkel says,
From my understanding, it takes one to turn one into a vampire.
I see.
The guard captain's daughter was one. Captain.
Oh, she was?
Yeah.
My God, I don't even know what the vampire is. I
Well,
just thought she was a dead body.
well, she was a type of dead body. They come in all kinds.
Is it past your bedtime?
Well, the early bird special's on for dinner. It's 2 p.m. You better hurry.
Kalani will laugh a little bit.
Maury is there. He's been silent this
Oh
whole
shit,
time
I was gonna say, jeez, what the fuck?
until this dwarf had mentioned that he hadn't heard of them. And Maury, still sitting, but they're not drinking the beer, whispers to you in a low tone, this is a very old-looking being. The dwarves are not something that we are familiar with. Surely he would have some knowledge of undead creatures. Just said he knows of undead creatures, but he hasn't heard about vampires. Does that strike you as a little odd?
I mean, the only reason why I know of them is I've read about them. And the first time I've seen one is when we encountered it in the crypt before. It might be possible that he's just not educated.
Perhaps. We'll keep an eye out for anything unusual.
Do you think this is that unusual? What do you think I should ask him then? If something of his age, I don't have a reference to understand when there would have been another, if at all, any kind of vampire.
No, I think we simply observe.
scourge.
I think we simply observe. Maury turns back and looks like he's drinking a bit more water, and he pipes up and he says, so, Finkel, what did you find with these corpses? Anything strange about them? Anything apart from that they were moving, though they should have been dead? And Finkel says, yeah, maggots.
Ew.
Yeah, crawling through the eyes and into the ear canal.
Okay, less detail.
Up the nostril. It's got...
Far less detail.
I'm sorry.
Unless it's important, which that is truly not.
Well, kind of. You got these things that should have been eating on the insides, and they weren't. It's like they were looking, but they couldn't find the flesh, you know? They weren't really rotting. It's like the corpse was producing them, but not really. Anyway.
What about the Lady of Lips? What do you know of her? Rumors, stories, truth, any of it.
Plenty of rumors.
Like what?
He leans in over the table.
Please, you can just say this freely.
He looks around very dramatically. He just goes and turns.
Okay, if you must.
Okay. Here's a rumor about the Lady of Lips. They say...
If you say she has lips.
He looks legitimately confused at that statement. He says, of course she's got lips.
Well, obviously.
I'm
That's
sorry. Is it past your bedtime? Anyway.
Are you okay? Do you need to cool down?
I'm a little hot under the collar, if you know what I mean. Just about, not just because of the forge, but, you know, we're talking about something that has evil in its roots. I want to be serious about this.
Well, then don't say her name 3 times in front of a mirror.
What will that do?
You'd have to try it to find out.
You just told me not to.
Well, then don't.
Why? You're freaking me out.
No one's lived to tell the tale.
About?
You say he
Finkel's
is...
talking.
Can you make a deception check for me, please?
Bloody Mary. 16.
Okay. He puts his fist in front of him and turns it, and then just puts it once, slams it once on his chest, and slowly drops it. You can see his fist is shaking, and he says, "Aye,
It's gonna be okay, I promise. It's just a folk tale.
Moradin, protect me. I'll remember that. I'd
Okay.
appeal to your best judgment as well. Don't do the same.
I'm so confused right now.
Don't say her name in front of the mirror 3 times.
3 times.
Don't do it. It'll cause you pain and suffering and die.
Unless it's between the hours of 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. and
Will
then
that
it's
bestow
fine.
something good then?
No,
Oh,
just nothing bad.
AM.
A.m.
I'll remember that. I'll pass that around to my brethren. They'll know for sure. So,
Okay. Is there an epidemic of people saying this?
no,
prior?
that wasn't part of the rumor, but I'll share that with my kin.
Okay.
It'll be passed throughout all of of the more holds now. Anyway, the rumor I had heard, going back to that, was something that I only heard as I came to Vedekar, actually Karnath in general. Hadn't heard of the Lady of Lips before that. I hear that whoever this group is, they have servants of fiendish origin. People like you.
Lovely.
They spread word, through their lips. They spread these words of evil, and they take people and they use them, with magic, and they people you don't know that perhaps are your friends. They're actually under the spell of these creatures, even from afar.
So they influence them with magic.
And yeah, that's what I've heard. And they've only recently started to act again. They're using the history of Karnath as almost a cloud of deceit.
When you say they're only recently starting to do this again, there was a gap in time when they did not exist or were quieter, laying low?
I don't know. I don't know if they've never existed until now, or they had a hiatus, if you will. For sure, they're not. I can't say for sure, really. I've encountered the reason I know this is because I've encountered one, a member of the Lady of Lips.
Where are they now?
Dead by my.
And you
by
didn't
my
think to
wall.
keep them alive to question them?
I didn't know about it at the time.
It's not an accusation, it was a question.
Oh, I didn't know about it at the time.
Okay.
What'd you do with the body?
Burned it. Once I saw what I saw, I couldn't unsee what I saw.
And what is it that you saw?
A few things.
Great.
A tattoo on the back of its neck, disappearing right before my eyes as it died. Of a pair of lips
Yeah, that's what that
with a dagger within.
Gerald has.
Yeah, we saw that.
The other thing I saw was red eyes, bloodshot but magical glowing. Teeth that are as sharp as you could, as sharp as you can sharpen.
Yeah, that was that dude that
That's
slit his own throat.
Anyway,
What?
What was that?
The brigand.
When we were trying to find the...
Yeah, he had the very sharp teeth, and then he's also had sort of eyes.
I saw him when I was out on patrol, collecting herbs for House Jorasco's this hospital, with a small group. Fergus was there, Ulfin, not his other son, but they were there. They didn't see what I saw though, and then I threw my axe and split its chest open. Sorry for the details, quite gory, and then saw
Oh,
these
that I
things.
don't mind, it's fine.
Bones cracked and, teeth
Say crack again.
teeth shattered, blood spurted. It was all just a spectacle. Anyway, taking the body back, it started to move again, slammed it again in the head, kept it here for a time, and then burnt it.
Great.
And in the Lady of Lips, the name, well, I saw a note. The note said, Fort Bones and the Nightwood. That's all it said.
Fort Bones is...
South of here,
Yeah, it's...
one of the border castles.
Yeah, because we were asking Captain... Sorry, out of Captain.
Yes.
Captain Troon
Yes.
about where it was, and he hadn't heard from them in a
Yep.
bit. And we've heard that place is there for like 3 times now, I think. How many weeks, days journey is it to House Bones from here?
Fort Bones.
Fort
I'd say a couple of weeks
Walking or horseback?
on horseback.
And what about? Am I correct in, again, out of question, that is there a skyport here?
You know that there's no skyport in Vedekar, though Finkel does pipe up and he says, "Oh, but we could get you there a bit faster. See, the Mural Holds has airships, and we just happen to moor one just outside Vedekar, still there. I could get you there in a few days."
Yeah, because the dwarves used it to get there, right? Yeah.
They were waiting. They're just getting supplies there from Vedekar and some nightwood and some other trade to go back to the Mural Holds. But I'm sure they could have a detour.
How big is Fort Bones?
There's a keep in the very center. That's where governance happens. You've got an outer gate, an inner. You've got an inner wall, then you've got a small village between the inner wall and the outer wall. Then you've got a much larger wall on the outside, battlements up there, scorpions, the ballista, catapults, things like that. Probably a couple of hundred men, women and children calling it home, and it's not big. It's a border. It's a border fort. It's not supposed to be one of living.
Do we want to go to Fort Bone?
Bone Fort.
Bone Fort.
Fort
Fort
Bones. I think maybe let's wrap up what we have here first, including talking to the member of the 12, drinking very heavily, and then getting some rest. But aside from that, no objection.
Lila says, perhaps you can finish off during that time your spell with Ivor, and we can receive these very, very lovely looking gifts.
Yeah. I'm just concerned for the town.
For Fort Bones.
No, well, we still don't have any conclusion to the warehouses yet.
Finkel says, the warehouse is safe. It's been decursed. House Jorasco has scoured through and made sure that there's no other dangers there. Though that we did see something quite evil there. This reddish, these reddish symbols that we jutted away. But they're gone.
Yeah, okay, they're gone as well.
No more bodies. That warehouse is as good as it could be. I'd say as safe as this hospital.
Unfortunately, as well, something I've learnt through my travels is that not everything gets finished or tied up with a shiny, nice red bow. Just kind of move on.
I mean, if, with all respect, if what he said is true, then House Troon doesn't need to muster up any more reinforcements from the other house.
It's an appropriate way to leave it. We've done all we can do.
Lila says, however, there's still this question of the missing Captain Gerald. Perhaps Captain Troon is trying to capture him as a last stage.
Yes.
Though the warehouse may be safe, Captain Gerald, if he lives, he could be at large and maybe gathering a force of his own.
Would it make sense then that he would be at the fort?
Fort Bones.
With 100 guard.
That
In a
we would just
fortified
walk
position.
right into.
Do you know if there's any support from the 12, then if we give this information to them?
Lila says, well, in under half an hour we will find out.
What do you know about vampires?
Lila says, I've read some things, most or all of it reading, no personal interactions with them. I wouldn't want to. I know that they are the unliving. They are sentient. They appeared in history some time ago as they are very long-lived, almost like elves. They do not breathe. Though they can live somewhat in sunlight, they do suffer for it. There are rumors and things that... Thank you very much. There are rumors and tales and legend that they do require hydration and that they cannot stand under a waterfall, for example, without being in pain, that they must ask for permission to enter an abode that is not theirs. It's very odd, very nuances. They are powerful. In history, they have risen to summon and lead armies of undead.
Did Relenza, did she look like one or sound from what you've read?
It was difficult to tell, which is why I've been thinking on that for some time. It is quite difficult, apparently, to kill a vampire. Not as easy as a piece of wood through the chest. That gave me a clue that she wasn't really a vampire, no. Perhaps someone of a lesser power. I think there are things that vampires had been able to do in the past that had helped them survive more than simply this. Vampires have their own minds. She really truly seemed like she was under the effect of someone else. No one would willingly ask to be killed like that.
You don't know that.
Vampires are particularly resistant to magic. I wonder... I just don't think she would have... I think she would have resisted magic to charm her if the reading was correct and true, should she have really been one.
What do you make of, I guess we've seen fake bones of people. She didn't seem to have any memories of being alive apart from the last few seconds of what she thought was her life. She said she didn't remember growing up or being a little girl.
Perhaps this was just part of the effect that was on her. Perhaps I'm not sure if you've ever been charmed by a spell, but there are perhaps some more powerful versions of that modify your memory. Perhaps even permanently. For the masters of illusion, or masters of magic in general, divination, they can change your mind and make as if you exist only in the moment and you remember nothing else. It's a horrid existence, but there are spells that do. Well, at least stories that say. As to these bones...
You say modify your memory. Like, rewrite a portion of time within someone's head?
Either a portion or for the more powerful versions your entire life. Should one keep you in a spot under capture for some time, they could.
Interesting. Do you know this magic?
No. No, that is far beyond me. Perhaps one of the 12 can shed more light on this.
I don't like it.
It's a horrid existence, yes. Worse than torture.
Interesting.
Finkel says, right, well, I've just, while you've been having a chat, I think some of your gifts are ready. Broeg! And you see one of the sons pull a small cart with Ulthan, his father, over. And the wooden wheel hits the small gaps in the glass floor and creates that that clacking sound over the top, and you see within. Broleg pulls out what looks to be a suit of heavy armor, and within, you notice the sapphire. The sapphire is gleaming and bright. And you can see that it's as though the sapphire has been very intricately broken to a point where within, like liquid, tiny veins of blue seem to be moving, not moving, but at least as though it was bleeding through the metal and simply stopped. And shimmering slightly, almost like a 10-legged beetle. Within this blue, which is almost a navy blue look, not a turquoise, a bit more deep navy, it pulses every now and again, every 5 or so seconds, very, very subtly. Otherwise, as Broleg hands it to you, and actually he asks if you'd like to don it to see if it fits.
I'll hold on to it, and of course.
He
This is stunning.
takes the next few minutes to help you put this on, and you can see there's chainmail below the full plate that leads down, down your legs past your knees. And as he's putting it on, he's explaining, okay, so essentially we've been able to intricately understand the magic of the sapphire. Should you be in a bit of a spot of trouble, the first time in a day that you'd get hit and really suffer from damage, you won't be. It'll protect you. But on a new dawn, will it reset? So once the first time you get hit with an attack successfully, it will negate any damage.
Whoa.
Boom.
But only once,
Okay.
only the first time you get hit, and then it's, no matter how much damage it is, it could be 1, it could be 1,000,000, but then after that it's just a
Walk
normal...
straight into a fireball. It'll be great.
Yeah, that's a quick way down a mountain.
It's just a
Chest
normal...
first.
It's,
Just jump off the top of a fucking building. Like, go.
it's considered splint mail.
Splint man. Okay.
Yep, it's considered splint mail. It's also +1.
Ooh.
It's a masterwork splint mail.
This is amazing. Thank
Wow,
you.
we're level 20 already.
It's quite fine craftsmanship.
Oh, it's nothing. He blushes a little
14
from
minutes.
it.
I'd hate to see what you can do in 10 hours.
Should I have the right equipment, like that sapphire, I could do much. But for a quick forge, it's the best I could come up with.
You've done well. Thank you. What do I owe you for this?
Again, think of it as a bit of a gift from us, and a sign of goodwill that you'd always be welcome at the Moor Holds.
I'll,
Should you wear this as you go in, you'd be welcomed.
sounds like I might need that soon.
Why do you stare at me sometimes when you finish a sentence?
I do that to Ivor as well.
Anyway, this other thing. He unfurls what looks like a brown woolen blanket.
This is monocle guy?
No, still Broleg.
Right.
Ulthan, with the monocle, is standing back a little. Make another insight for me
Sure, let's go.
as you look towards him. He's still wearing the monocle.
I'm sorry, my character sheet's loading.
That's right. You tell me in a moment. As it does, he unfurls his blanket of brown, and he
Dirty 20.
thank you. He takes out what looks to be a
Way.
small brown pouch, and he hands that to you, Bryn. And Broleg says, "This pouch is not entirely legal, though you look like the kind of person that might enjoy it. I'm going to let you understand what it does." He just gives you this pouch, and it's a pouch about that big, with a very very small string to tighten it. Though it's beautifully made, it's a silken pouch, silken brown pouch, without any blemish to it. And you notice that it almost looks like there's glitter that surrounds this pouch, and on the string as well. And it shines slightly at your, and it feels very light. It looks empty.
I guess I'd two-hand finish up the beer. You made this.
Let's just say we were going to trade it. I didn't make it in the moment, no. It's part of the treasure of the Mroll holds.
Oh, it makes me feel very good about the dwarves. You're a very good man, and I'll be swaying at this point, and a bit, just with a smile on my face. I'll give him a big hug. I really like all the dwarves here. They're very good. You do a good work.
Furleg says, "Aye, thank you. I see you're enjoying the Nightwood Ale."
Yeah, it's the sap. It reminds me of the redwoods at home.
How's your forgiveness muscle feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling very good. It's like almost like I'm on they're having a yage ceremony.
Now might be a good time for.
Broleg just does this with his hand, and ever so shyly, another dwarf starts to just shuffle slowly towards your position. In the meantime, Broleg brings out what looks to be a long-barreled rifle.
Whoa. Sorry, just dropped my pen. Nearly.
This rifle looks like it's almost like a musket in its make. It has a very very recently forged silver handle, with the barrel being gold. You notice that. So the barrel is made of gold. The stock, it's the stock that is that silver intricate, with what looks to be a combination of dwarven runes, and also carving into it different depictions of ore, gold, silver, small pieces of rock, and named as well. And he says, and there are 3 barrels to it, one at the top, 1 and 2 below. Though they're quite thin and fragile looking, it's probably a good 2 meters long.
Jesus.
But it's light to hold. As you take it, you feel. As he hands it to you and you take it, you feel comfortable with it, and he says, "Okay, so you might have to practice with this one a little, but you're going to be able to. I've spent a bit of time on this, making sure the aim is true. So you should be able to hit most things with it. So for the purposes of that, it's a +1.
Okay.
He says, should you hit something with it, you're going to be looking at a bit of a bright bang. And for the purposes of the rules, you are going to be dealing radiant damage with the bullets that come out of this,
Cool.
not piercing.
Okay. Cool.
There will be 3 shots that fire. Each one will do
3 at once?
3 at once. Each one will do 1d4 points of damage.
Cool.
Radiant. Being a +1.
Sweet.
The range, 600 feet.
Jesus.
You can see a particularly well-crafted...
Disadvantage up close? Or
Yes.
How close?
100 feet.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
This is a sniper rifle.
Yeah. Cool. 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 I figured that. Cool.
Okay. Bullets are normal, so though he does give you a small pouch of bullets.
Cool.
He says that there are 120 bullets in there.
Holy fuck. Okay. Great. That's good news. It's about to go shopping. 120?
Yep.
Shit. Yeah.
It's about 40 shots before you run out.
If I use them in that gun.
Yeah.
Cool. Good to know.
Okay. So, Fergan is slowly moving towards you, and he gives you this shy wave, and he avoids your gaze, Rin, but he looks towards you all and says, "I helped a little with the crafting. I hope you like it."
I think, first of all, thank you. But I also think now might be a good time if you have anything to say, maybe, to someone in the group.
He looks down a little, embarrassed. He looks and he says, "I'm sorry. I truly am. To you and your family, and your culture, from myself and my family, we apologize for any disregard or perception of a misdeed and misfortune and cultural differences we may have had."
What are you talking about? Why are you being weird? Have you seen my shiny little pouch?
Yeah, I hope you like it. I made sure that you had that one. It's quite special to me. It's yours now.
Yeah, thank you. It's the nicest thing that I have on me.
It's worth quite a bit. I probably wouldn't tell anyone outside this circle you have it, though.
Why is that?
Oh, well, I don't know whether I've said anything, but have you tried to take something out of it?
Are the things in there?
Yeah.
Wait, open up. Try to pull something out.
Oh, you're being so cute, Jordan. As you
It's called acting.
love it, as you put your fingers in, and you do feel something smooth, a rock or something at your fingertips, and as you pull that out, it's an emerald, a circular teardrop emerald with multifaceted surface. It's the size of your thumb, and it is beautiful.
Wait, look what I got.
Yes, interesting. How did he get that?
Fergan says, "Well, so there's almost like a doorway between here and the bottom of that bag. It leads to some sort of treasury room.
I've got my own treasury in the bag.
Kind of, yeah. Though, the one thing you should know is, though now you've got the emerald, within about maybe 10 minutes or so, it will cease to exist. So, though it's real now, it's almost like it's trying to go back to where it came from. Should you give it to someone, you probably would want to leave quickly, because if it's going to be used as like a payment of something, they won't have it after a time.
That is very sneaky. I like this.
It's like it goes back to the same place it came from.
Do you want me to buy you something?
It might come in handy, actually. Can you burn the item as fragrance?
Good question. I don't know. Gold perhaps can be melted, but it may take the same amount of time to make it do that as disappear.
Oh, do you mean like if you need to do your fancy things and I pull out like something that you need?
Yeah, kind of. Because if we destroy it, it can't go back. Would there be any ramifications for that? Where's this coming from?
Well, that's the thing. Don't really know.
Let's find out. What do you need?
Well, nothing at the moment, but perhaps.
The problem as well is it's not like you can just ask for what you need and it comes out. It's almost like it's a random thing. It could be, well, I've tried once or twice. It can be maybe just a couple of gold coins. It could be the emerald that you've got now. It could be a squirrel or a rat. It just depends.
How often can I do it?
Well, I haven't really experimented with it.
I'll try and pull something else out.
Okay. As you do, you hear a rustling as you take out what looks to be a small scroll that's tied up with a red ribbon. It looks like a very bone white paper that looks quite... it looks like it's got writing within, but it doesn't look like it's faded or old or anything like that. It looks like it's just been written.
Look, I got you this. What does it say?
I'll take it. Could be better than Ivor's hat. Is there a seal or anything on it?
No seal.
I'll open it up and read it.
It's a shopping list. It's essentially it's for groceries, clothes, shoes size 12. It's about 20 or so items.
This is really interesting.
Is it secrets?
Well, let me just say, if whoever doesn't get this back soon, they're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Sucks to be them. Hey, Fergus, come here. Come here.
He tentatively...
I'll hand you back the...
No, you can keep it.
Oh, well, it's just going to disappear anyway. Nice joke.
Hey, Fergus. And this will be away from the rest. Hey, I may have overreacted with the sneezing thing. It's still not good.
Can I try and overhear this, please?
Yep, you can make a sleight of hand and you can make a perception.
Yeah. 11. 21.
13.
Okay, so you can't quite overhear over the sound of the hammering behind you of blacksmithing tools and lava and forge, but go on.
Okay, bring up lava every time, Jello.
Hey, yeah, don't ever do that if you can help it in front of Shifter. But I was very upset because it was one of the last things that happened to me in the tribe is my friend Timana. He did that to me on purpose, and yeah, it's not very good. Made me think of that.
I'll remember.
It's very bad.
I'll tell that to my brother and make sure that that's a respectable act that we don't share around you.
Here, you can have this, and I'll pull something else out of the bag.
You take out what looks to be 3 gold coins.
I'll give it to him.
He thanks you
smile and sway as I'm walking back to the rest.
Throughout, I guess, that whole fucking weird interaction and the weird interaction with the shopping list and all of that, I probably would have been looking and listening to them, but every now and again I'd just stare at Ulthen.
Okay, sure. He, in this entire interaction, hasn't taken his eyes off you anyway. So he looks back at you.
Every now and again, just a little narrow of the eyes.
Okay. Once that interaction
I'm gonna fucking stab him in the...
once that interaction is done, you all sit back down. Fergan and Ulthen start to leave. Broleg leaves, and actually, Broleg and Fergan leave. Ulthen starts to go, looking at his sons leave in front of him. He turns back around with a curious face. Finkel still there with you. Maury's still there. Maury was quite wide-eyed and pleased with the gifts, and he's looking at your armor quite particularly. Lock with interest. Ulthen turns towards you, Lani, and he says, I'm wondering,
Wonder quieter.
could I show you some tricks to the musket? Perhaps I can give you some tips and tricks as to how to aim it.
Sure. Why not?
We've got some targets over there. Come on, we can have a bit of a look.
Yeah, I'll go with him.
Cool. As you head off with Ulthen,
Fucking draw my dagger.
and you both continue to drink, and Maury tries to discuss the magic that's within the armor. You find, Rin, that your eyesight's becoming a little hazy. You're becoming a little tired, but that warm feeling of that drink that reminds you of home, of the redwood, is just on your palate, and it pleases you. And with those feelings, we'll take a 10-minute break and come back to this scenario.
Bam, bam.
We'll see everybody in 10 minutes. Hope you enjoy
What
yourselves.
a big bada boom.
Bye. We're going to take the quickest 10-minute break.
Roll the damage! I've waited this long!
So I'm rolling the damage and not budging at all, so let's see what happens.
Oh,
One another round?
Oh, jeez.
They're calling for a cliffhanger.
well, he'll roll it. And then
Oh my god, stop rolling! Oh no.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see how much damage Amara gets after we come back from a 10-minute break.
I hate this game.
We'll see everybody in 10 minutes.
And I rolled a 25 for
Okay.
stealth check.
25.
Okay.
Oh!
Oh, that's a bad laugh.
That's bad.
It's a bad laugh. That's a wheeze.
Is that a
That's an
nat 20?
evil wheeze.
It's 18 for me.
Is that a nat 20?
So you all start walking
18.
down.
Yeah, hold on a second.
leave my hands like this for a moment.
Stop flexing your muscles.
The dwarf is happy. It's all bad.
As Amara starts to race towards Rook, you have just been handed the potion. And you saw Amara then just disappear. As you turned to attempt to uncork it and hand it to Osei, the battle's over. And with that swift motion, you look down, and the twitching has stopped. And in front of you, smoke coming out of the body of Osei, now still.
Do I see this?
Yeah.
Thorum! Thorum, help her!
I'm gonna walk on over and look down at her. How's she look? Is there any sign of life?
Make a medicine check.
How's she look? Dead.
That's a nat 1.
After the last question he asked, I pull into the rucksack from the back and present a cup. And I say to it, "This is King Boronel's personal possession."
After 53 sessions, Michaela looks like he's gonna cry.
You may if you want. Sorry, continue.
For anyone who doesn't know, it's taken 53 sessions for Ben to know how to say King Boronel. That is going on TikTok later.
I was clapping because you had components ready.
I'd be just trying to keep next to Rook, trying to grab his hand and
Mm-hmm.
just, hey,
Dench, I thought you were Osei.
I'll say something to you.
What is it?
Come here.
What happened?
You look really good right now.
No one's ever really taken notice of it. Now's not the time, I think.
There's always a time for love.
Welcome back.
By far the weirdest way to start a stream. We should have called this ASMR cheese eating.
As you look upon this beast, wind buffer, the red scales, blind every haze. The dragon attacks all around you. Birds fly away. Make your attack.
Oh yeah, he fucked up.
Charlie listens to Rook and says, "Look, this is getting a bit corny."
Oh, dance again, quick!
It's Aaron Cochran, that's why.
I'm gonna. I'm gonna transform.
You got a massage it.
Puts the lotion on its skin.
It puts. Oh, we're lotioning.
Oh no. This is very uncomfortable. I'm glad I did.
Shake off the excess.
Shake it all off.
That was wonderful.
Very
I
nice.
have nightmares tonight.
I'm not good with words. But I think when I think back to everything that I've done since like day one with these motherfuckers, like you were there always. And you were like the only one that actually listened to me for a really long time. So, duh. Of course I got like all feelsy and stuff. And then Dench came along. God. I was so jealous. So fucking jealous. I don't think it's fair to tell you how I feel if I don't get to stay. That would be cruel. But I think you know.
Well, Amara, I love you. And I will wear the cruelty because I think it is worth it. It's worth every moment we've had, and it is every memory.
Mara's just gonna be like, not of lava, but single tear. And she's just gonna be like, I love you too. I'm sorry I didn't say it.
It's Aaron Cochran. That's yeah.
Can you do that again?
I will not do that. It's that you're trying to bandage up gaping holes in his chest, and
I've got you, buddy.
you kind of now realize that your initial investigation of his body reveals that his head is missing.
I thought I had him there, guys.
Tell us the things you're going to tell us.
Okay.
And maybe we'll let you live.
Yeah, if it's
Are you lying?
I'll actually laugh. Like in character.
Are your shoulders like that?
It comes out exactly like that.
I don't know what they're gonna do.
You have feathers in your hand of this Pegasus.
Do we see the children?
Yes. Yes.
I'm going to try and catch the children.
All right. They're moving very quickly. So what's your flying speed?
My flying speed full is 60 feet.
Okay. 60 feet. Okay. They're falling a bit faster, but you can attempt to.
Is our first kill in the campaign 2 innocent children?
And as you get closer, you see lives. And this cage that it now looks like it is so packed with corpses, squished together. As you get a closer look, this symbol is depicting two companies or houses, but they are together. They're on the same bit of metal. They depict the house that your parents are working in. And they depict the symbol on the other side of House Tarot.
Oh, fuck you.
And we're gonna end that. And we're gonna end that tonight. And that's it. That's it, everybody. We're gonna take the quickest 10-minute break.
Oh,
that
Roll the damage! I've waited this long!
So I'm rolling the damage and not fudging at all. So let's see what happens.
Oh!
Wrong another round?
Oh, jeez. They're calling for a cliffhanger.
Well, he'll roll it. And then
Oh my god, stop rolling!
Oh, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see how much damage Amara gets after we come back from a 10-minute break.
I hate this game.
We'll see everybody in 10 minutes.
And I rolled a 25 for
Okay.
stealth check.
25.
Okay.
Oh, that's a bad laugh.
That's bad.
It's a bad laugh. It's a wheeze.
Is that a
It's an
nat 20?
evil wheeze.
It's 18 for me.
Is that a nat 20?
So you all start walking
18.
down.
Hold on a second.
It's gonna leave my hand like.
Well, Easy enough to kill them all.
Welcome back, everyone. We've killed all the people apart from Kailani. No, we're back.
Justifiably so.
We are here briefly, just with Kailani. So, going back into the scene, while you leave your companions drinking at the bar with the barkeep who did make a pass at you, Vugbo, you walk a small way with Ulthin, the dwarf who...
What are you doing?
Not
You're not
quite
allowed
yet.
in. Get out. I love that man.
Yeah.
Good.
You walk a little while with Ulthin, the dwarf who helped capture and destroy the corpse collector creature in that battle with an anvil that he pulled himself. And he takes you to just past the anvil to a small part of this cave, it almost seems like, with this high ceiling made of that same glass, and he brings over what looks to be a small stool that he requests that you rest that long barrel of the rifle on. As you do, and he instructs how to aim through the scope.
Mm-hmm.
He also starts to help you understand how to breathe and how to let out your breath as you're firing the gun.
Mm-hmm.
He watches your posture. He starts a couple of times to get you to stand while you shoot and also kneel. Your aim is towards a statue that's a good about 100 feet away, just to the limit of the shortest range. It's one of a quite large dwarf that looks like he's holding a hammer at his chest. A simple yet revered looking statue, though you are firing shots at it. As you squeeze that trigger the first time, you see the barrel shift and it turns 60 degrees as you hear this boom, 3 shots
Sick.
that fire true and hit where you aimed for, the top of the hammer itself. And you yeah, man, I'm good. And stone flies as the bullets ring true, creating a snap in the air of sound. So it's Kailani.
Is that a question or just a statement?
Aim for Moradin's eye.
No, I will do so.
As you do, and you're concentrating on through the scope, you can see quite clearly it's zooming in quite close to that feature. He says, breathe deeply, take your time, don't rush it. We call it the Harbinger. It's a name passed down. You can use it or you can name it another name of your own. But we dwarves call it the Harbinger.
Good to know.
It bestows fear. It used to be used against many a foe, mostly orcs, the wild ones.
I'm going to pull the trigger at this point.
And you hear the 3 bullets again strike the left eye that you are aiming at in succession, and more stone crumbles and snaps away. Aim for the other eye. The orcs, that is, used to paint themselves with this blackish paint, almost like tar. And they used to hide from us in the bowels of the moorholes.
Are you going to get to the point of this story?
Yeah. While they wear a costume of paint, you seem to wear one of magic. Could I ask? You're going around in disguise?
Could I ask, what does it matter to you?
He gives off a smile that looks quite genuine. And he says, I only look out for my sons and their safety. They are the future of House Jorasco. And so when someone comes into my midst in a different skin and on the outside looks like someone else, I'm sorry, but I must question it. You're in House Jorasco's abode. So when you're here and when you receive gifts from the dwarves...
I didn't ask for a gift.
No, that is
and I'll
true.
gladly give it back.
So you would not like to bestow any information?
I didn't say that.
Well, then keep the gift then.
If I wanted your sons dead, then they would be.
I can see that that is true. I respect it. I can see you're a straight shooter in both aspects. What are you?
What do you think I am?
I've read some things.
It's not a
Shifter.
dirty word.
No, it's not. But I'm not really educated on what you are.
Can tell you it's not a shifter.
Similar, though, yes?
I don't think so,
Well, educate me then.
but that's my take. I guess you could call it a changeling.
That name rings a bell. Why hiding?
That's up to me.
Why did... Well, your situation aside, why do changelings hide?
They don't always.
Let's speak
Hypothetically.
hypothetically. Why would a changeling hide?
Why would anyone hide?
Well, I can answer that. They're escaping justice, which was my first thought. So that has me a bit on edge. A second, you're ashamed of something, and you're trying to hide it yourself from the world. Third, you're not trying to hide from the law or ashamed of yourself, but perhaps something more personal, hiding from a family member or someone close.
So if you can tell that I'm a straight shooter, and you can tell that if I wanted your sons dead, they would be, then what do the other two really matter?
Perhaps then I just need some assurances. You've threatened my sons twice now.
When?
Should you have wanted them, then they would be.
Oh, that's not a threat.
To me, lassie, it is.
It's fact.
He tenses his muscles. You can
My
see
point
that
being, I
there's-
don't want your sons dead. In fact, I find them quite beneficial currently.
That is pleasing to hear.
It's very, very simple to jump to the conclusion that someone who does hide who they are must be evil or must have some sort of a dark past. Maybe sometimes you're right. But you don't need to know about mine. Because it's really not important. I choose my appearance because it's how I like to look. Because I don't like people to look at me the way that you did the second you saw through your monocle. The second you jumped to this conclusion. Do you think that's a fair assumption?
I do not.
Well, then I guess we don't see eye to eye.
For what it's worth, you look quite good in your heart, and you don't seem evil at all. And please, my apologies if I came across as assuming so. It's just, with all the talk that's around undead and such.
Can assure you I'm alive. I intend on staying that way.
I see no reason to think you're in danger to us. I think you are a boon. Suffice to say, not even my sons will know what I've seen. You have my word on that.
If they do, if anyone does, then I will throw threats around. And they won't just be threats.
Aye. I understand. By the way, if it's worth anything, you're quite an attractive person underneath that skin.
Gross. Thank you. Let's move on.
All I'm saying there is, if nothing else is causing you to hide, perhaps every now and again, people would appreciate what you truly look like. That's all.
Thank you. I guess.
You're welcome. Anyway. Keep practicing.
I don't need it. I'm a
Practice?
Yeah, I'm a pretty good shot.
I can see that. But right now, the statue isn't moving. The things that do may need a little more time. But I'm sure you knew that.
Find out, I guess.
Enjoy it. It's not something to borrow, it's something to keep.
I appreciate it.
At that point, you notice Lila stand. And she's talking a little more directly with the rest of your group and looks over to you and Ulthen, waiting your return.
Over, I'll go.
Thank you, gentlemen. Come on in.
You're allowed in now, Ben.
We'll just wait for the rest of the crew to enter.
It was the scared look he had. when he
Oh,
walked
really?
in,
I didn't
yeah.
see that. Oh.
Oh no, did you kill him?
Yeah.
Cool. Love it. Beautiful.
I hate it.
I believe he'll join us in a minute.
Is he peeing?
Yep, just took the perfect wrong time because he just walked in.
As you
Hit
as
me
you
with
watch,
your perfect time.
I'll repeat this as well when Locke gets back. But as you watch and in your slightly drunken state, it's interesting. You watch as Kailani starts to wander back, though you're seeing Kailani twice, and Ulthan twice, and the rest of the room twice,
I was very confused for a second.
because you're quite dizzy and a little bit out of it.
I guess while all that was going on, would there be
There is time.
time to? I guess if I'm sitting there with Locke, be I don't know, maybe just spilling a second drink, but not actually drinking it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what is your deal? Like, what do? You're always reading books and you talk about gods and stuff. Like, what's your thing?
My thing.
Yeah. What do you do? What did you do before I met you at that pub?
I mean, I was coming from Talenta Plains. I just met some halflings there. And was traveling with a couple of friends. Just diving through some rooms.
What did you talk?
Collecting things here and there.
Yeah, well, you talk about like the temple and like we don't have a temple here and stuff. What temple? What temple?
There's a well, there's a temple that I call home in Shan.
Hey, where is it? Maybe I've seen it.
Well, the Shan's on the hilt. It's a pretty big city.
Oh no, I live there.
Massive city. Oh, how long were you living there for?
When one full round of the seasons.
Would I know what he's talking about?
A year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know that pretty well.
Only one whole year.
Yeah, that's where
There's a lot to do in Shan.
that's where I got that letter that you read.
Ah, right. Yeah, you did mention that actually. Well, no, I mean, I do a great amount of things. Basically work for the temple, gathering up information about the old gods, the new cultures, other bits and bobs here and there for education and also sometimes for administration.
Yeah, but why haven't you heard of Balinor? I asked you that a little while ago. You said you didn't know Balinor.
Well, personally, no. I haven't read about him.
I could.
You could tell me about it. I am here to collect knowledge.
This little drink here reminds me of when we speak to him. Do you want to speak to him?
I'll get out my book.
Do you want to speak to Balinor?
And how would one speak to Balinor?
Yeah, I can't do it here because I don't have the ingredients. But
what ingredients would you need?
do you know the Yage vine?
Do I know the Yage vine?
Nature check.
Oh, well, that's definitely cocked. 14.
You've heard of it, but you don't know its purpose. The Yage vine is, its main area of growth is in or around the Eldine Reaches, but you don't know of any other locations around Corvair that it would grow. But you don't know its properties. No.
Are you originally from the Eldine Reaches?
Yes, I told you this.
Yeah.
I told you this a lot. I'm from in the shadow of the Baishek Mountains.
Because that's where that root comes from. Yes, I've never used it before, but I know of it.
Yeah, it grows in the towering woods.
It's interesting. Why are they called the Towering Woods?
Because they're made of wood and they're very tall.
So there's no significant cultural purpose to it. They're just tall trees.
Yeah, but because you know when the demons came.
I do. Yes.
Yeah, because they tell the stories about that, and that whole area there was on fire and they got burnt down.
The big trees.
Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. We for Balinor we grow the trees and we make sure the animals are all healthy. that's what my people have been doing the whole time.
So what then brought you to Shan after that?
Yeah, well, that's the. Maybe I don't want you to talk to Balinor. That's because I was really excited about talking to him because I might be like maybe his favorite.
You might be a champion of Balinor.
No, it's maybe his favorite.
Like,
but
define favorite.
Are you okay?
well, you're not here.
No, that was out of character.
I'm getting into acting. But it, when I become a man, I go through the Uluwuku ceremony, and I was really looking forward to doing it because that's when we used the yage vine for the first time, and I had the big questions for what Balinor wanted me for, and he showed me terrible things.
Why is he showing you terrible things?
I don't know. I got told the whole time I was growing up that I was his favorite, and then that I was going to save the tribe. But then when I talked to him, he showed me that it looked like me, but like older, and I was very angry, and there's like black drool coming out of me, and everyone was dead.
Oh, it's getting. Sounds like what a prophecy is called.
I didn't like it, so I didn't want that to happen. And then that's why I left, and I found Shan.
What's the name of the ceremony?
It's the Uluwuko. It's what happens when my people they become an adult.
I was gonna, out of character, ask you, can you spell that? But that would not be good. How far off are you becoming a man, out of interest?
What do you mean? I'm a man.
No, I know you're a man, but...
Yeah, I went through my Uluwuku like 2 years ago.
Oh, you've already done your Uluwuku.
Oh yeah, just before I ended
Speaking
up
of it, like...
going to Shan.
Ah, okay. Sorry, I misunderstood. It sounded like you hadn't have done it yet.
Yeah, this drink is making me slur.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
It's hard to say ours already, and then you add this on top of it. Well, hey, so you talk to your other gods. Where do you do anything apart from the bones? Are you their favorite? Are you Ado's favorite?
I am definitely not their favorite. The way that me and my friends use the gods aren't like your typical priests that you'd find in Shan. We see them more of a pantheon, if you know what that means.
You know that I don't.
Yeah, that's true. They're all very different in their own way, and we believe no god is any better than the other, and nor should too much power be attributed to one either, for sake of balance.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
But who's your favorite?
But how do they talk to you?
Right now, I'm still learning this. I've only got minor gifts and prayers to be able to do what I need to do. And this is a part of the learning, going to these cultures, and mostly why Maury is Maury here? If he's listening as well. Is why I was very interested in Maury, and there's not been any conversation with his people for some time, and there might be a lot to be learned. They were talking about the war. They were relatively unscathed from it, and there could be 100 years of knowledge there that we're missing.
Yeah. Hey, how come people are dicks to you because you have horns?
Probably for the same reason that you were talking about the demons.
You're not a demon.
Well, no. In practice, no.
What did What about that one that was the stone thing with the blood? That the extra horns.
The one in the crypt.
Yeah, do you know what that was? Was that rude? Am I being rude?
No. Let me check my notes. I don't think I did learn it. No, I couldn't figure out what the name of that god or guardian may have been, if it was even a god of some descript. Besides to say, I may not be doing a very good job at the moment.
Oh, you're doing a great job.
Well, I appreciate that.
I don't know what your job is, but you're doing good.
But yes, that's basically all I've been doing for the last 10 years.
Do you like it?
It's better than what I was doing prior to that.
What was that?
That's probably another conversation.
Does it involve your sister?
Do you know I have a sister?
Yeah, you did mention it.
Yeah.
Briefly.
It might have a little bit to do with my family, yes.
Oh, I won't pry if you don't want to talk about it.
It's probably best discussed later.
Yeah, right. Can we hear like guns going off?
During this time, you look over when you see the almost like a triple snap of a gunshot. Yes, and in the short distance away, you notice that Ulthen is teaching or seems to be directing Kailani in the ways of a musket. And she is starting to come back over.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool, actually.
I want to try it. Do you think she'd let me try it?
Probably not. You could ask her. There's no harm in asking.
Yeah, I'll see if she lets me.
Just don't be disappointed if it's a no.
Why is there two of her?
There isn't.
During your conversation as well, you see Finkel, the dwarf, speaking to Ivor, and during your conversation, it seems like Finkel has gifted Ivor with the necklace that he was wearing, this quite heavy golden-looking, intricate chain around his neck. Though you didn't overhear if there are any potential magical properties or anything other than simply a gift. And you have arrived back with Ulthen in tow. He sits back down, wordlessly takes a beer and one of his ales and salutes you, and then takes a sip.
Just go to salute him and spill beer.
Lila has stood up, and she, just before Kailani had returned, she says, "We should be expecting Avalea quite soon."
Yes, okay. Hey.
I'm sorry, did you dribble on yourself? And as he looks down, I'm gonna flick his nose.
Are you trying to make me sneeze still?
Oh no, that's just a childhood prank.
You're so childish. But that's pretty cool. What? This is your fancy new gun?
It is, yes.
Can I have a go?
Certainly not right now, but maybe after a rest.
Will you teach me?
If you want.
It looks so cool.
You need to be sober, however. Or not sober, but I'm gonna... Okay. That's the wrong way.
Can we
Would you
get
like to lay down?
Yeah, I'm getting quite sleepy.
Yeah. Maybe just curl up over there.
Let's get into a fight. I want to see you use a gun.
I'll show you tomorrow.
All right.
Nap
What are we
time.
doing?
Lila says, We are expecting Avalea any moment now.
So keep it together. Do you have any form of way to restore him from his
His drunken state.
yeah.
Maury pipes up and says, "Oh, I think I have something for you," and he puts his thin, white-skinned hand on your cheek and slowly just slightly caresses it a little, and you feel warmth and you feel alertness, and a warmth feeling washes over you as that drunken state dissipates, and you become sober once more in an instant.
Can you teach me how to do that?
He says, "Of course."
Drunk 24/7.
I'm not sure that's how it works, but how are you feeling? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. No, kind of like lean into Locke. Like, hey, you don't go around telling people about that stuff.
About your nipples?
What? What did that? What the?
It's okay. Your secret's safe with me.
Well, no, it's not really, because you told us all.
Oh no. What did I say? I don't remember that bit.
It's best we not speak about it. Your wishes.
Hey.
And I'll wink at you.
I'd be just very concerned.
Even over the hitting of hammers on anvil and the steam and the general noise that encompasses the blacksmith feeling around you, you hear feet on stairs, shoe on stairs, as you turn instinctively, as Lila does, to see a woman walk down the spiral staircase. This woman is wearing a simple grey dress. This dress is buttoned from the very top of her very tight neck collar all the way down to the very bottom of her feet. You see the dress is made of a wool of sorts. The sleeves are tight around her wrists, long-sleeved. You notice she's wearing a cravat as well, though simple. It's a white cravat around her neck. She has simple diamond earrings. Her hair is up in a bun. Greyish hair, and two sort of dangling bits of hair either side of her eyes. She's older. She looks maybe in her 60s or so. She has the crow's feet along her eyes, which are grey-green in nature as she is slowly walking towards you. Her shoes, or high heels it would seem, are made of what look to be glass.
Okay, Cinderella.
Though she doesn't seem uncomfortable in that style. Her hands are within the sleeves and she holds them at her waist. And she walks slowly up to you with a smooth skin, her ears only very slightly pointed, and she gives off a warm smile.
Can I don't know if it's inside or something, roll to see if I notice any familiar, I guess, family bond sort of look, genetic look between her and Lila.
Is she more than 100 feet away?
Why does inside always suck? Every character,
She's right up at
everything.
you
Yeah.
6.
Okay, as on the 6, you look and the spell that Maury had cast on you is still causing your drunkenness to wear off. It's difficult to tell if there's any resemblance, any pointed similarities between them. Lila gives a fairly respectful, deep bow in front of her, and she says, Lady Avalea, as though she's introducing you to her. And Lila continues, may I introduce my companions? Kailani, Rin, and Locke, Ivor, Maury. Avalea turns towards Maury particularly, and gives a slight nod of her head in acknowledgement, though doesn't acknowledge the rest of you individually, just looks at you all one after the other. So you have been accompanying Lila during this time. Already I sense an evil here. Not within our midst, but above, in the city streets. I have been summoned here to aid in the salvation of Vedica, though it's such as it is. Lila has mentioned your deeds thus far. Adequate. Be calm and be assured that all will be well. Shortly, once the danger has passed, you may be summoned by the administration to retell your tale for evidence and for history.
And if we choose not to?
As required by Karna's law, it will be retold through the lens of those who must.
And what's in it for us?
There is no reward. It is simply a requirement.
I'm not talking material reward, but there are some things that I think we would like to know to complete puzzles and loose ends that maybe the 12 have more access to the information regarding. I'm sure by now it's gotten back to the 12 that the Lady of Lips is likely involved in a lot of this. So what is it that the 12 know that maybe the public don't? Because if we're going to be the ones that do everything around here, we should be the most well-equipped.
She smiles and she says, you are no longer required to continue your just adventure here. So all that is asked of you is to retell up to this point what you have done when the time is right to the administration, so that we can record it fairly. So any future threat could then look upon your retelling and perhaps protect future generations.
So no one's going to do anything. Is that what you're telling us?
At that point, Lady Avalea looks confusingly and almost disappointingly at Lila, who stays silent and whose eyes meet the floor. And Lady Avalea says, that is why I have arrived, to finish what has been started.
You're going to finish the Lady of Lips by yourself.
I will end the threat of Vedica.
Which is?
Now, none of your concern. The administration thanks you for your service. Be free of any concern.
I don't know. I don't know if I can be free of concern, considering this all happened under the noses of the 12. You would not have known of this if it weren't for my companions and I. You wouldn't have known all of this. You asked us to do this after you found out we had Maury with us. So basically what you're saying is we're going to 3/4 finish the job so that the 12 can finish the last part and be the heroes once again. I'm not asking to be a hero, I'm just asking for information. I'm not asking for gifts, for money, for fame, glory, for a seat with the 12. I just want to know. I just want answers. Don't think that's too much to ask considering how much we've done so far. Including uncovering the false bones of you and your companions. You know, the other 11. Oh, but we weren't going to mention that, were we?
Guess I'm looking to Lila for her reaction to that.
Yeah, I'll be like,
Lila does not react at all to what she just said. Her eyes seem to be just trying to focus as much as she can on whatever the floor is offering her. She's not looking at any of you. And Lady Avalea pauses for another few seconds before she says, "It seems some information has been kept from me."
Information can't be kept from someone if the person delivering that information doesn't know. And Lila didn't.
Very well.
Surprise, Lila.
Very well. A mystery that will be solved in time. One that I assure you, you should not feel feared of. You should not feel worried. A member of the 12 is here now, and all will be well. As for information that you seek, the less you know, the better.
Why?
There are certain powers on course to cause more suffering than need be that would drive one to insanity. You obviously don't seem like the run-of-the-mill citizens of Vedica, so I will gladly share. Yes, the Lady of Lips is known to us. We have been observing the threat for some time. In fact, a number of years.
Who is she?
This following we have observed has slowly increased in power. And some of us were sent here, she looks now pointedly at Lila, to end the threat, and have not succeeded. That can happen from time to time, and Lila will be trained again.
Can I roll insight on that? See
Sure.
what trained again means?
Sure.
It's a dirty 20.
A dirty 20, okay.
She gonna get smacked?
Look, the term trained again just doesn't seem or feel right to you. The understanding is that though the understanding that you have about the administration is they don't outwardly physically punish anyone, or the most that you can probably expect happen is maybe a downgrade in her duties, perhaps being sent back to Korth or somewhere to literally be maybe retrained in or retasked to another task, a more lowly task, maybe paid a little less, that sort of responsibility. It doesn't seem like there's any lasting negative effect she'll have, but there's an element that you get that there is supreme disappointment though that Lady Avalea has for her.
Allow me to just interrupt for one moment. I've never been good with authority.
Clearly.
I'll nod my head.
Self-awareness is
12.
Self-awareness is more important, I think. Had Lila not have called you and informed you and let you all know what we've done, and with Lila's aid, of course, then where would you be right now? What would you be doing?
Continuing to observe the town from afar, tracking movements.
Right, so you wouldn't be here, and you wouldn't know about what we've just told you, and
of course.
Frankly, you also likely would have no idea that she helped eliminate some of the threat. I'm not sure that warrants a retraining.
Did you also observe the representative of Aranel be kidnapped and subjected to torture, and without Lila's intervention, may not be here today? Was that something that you observed from afar while it was happening?
Or did the 12 just not even see it coming?
Did you observe the pile of corpses that could have ended a large portion of this town? And maybe converted the living into another pile of corpses? Did you observe that from afar?
Did you also perceive Lila being pretty much one of the only people that could track Maury down after he'd been kidnapped?
Did you observe her sustaining his life after we managed to rescue him with no small help from her?
As well as sustaining all of ours in the crypt. Not the crypt, sorry, the warehouses.
That was me. But...
She also helped.
Did you observe Locke doing a lot of work as well?
Because it seems to me you seem to have picked one specific failure that's a failure in your eyes, and not the successes that led you to be standing where you are right now.
Another few seconds of pausing when Lady Avalea turns again, directing this next statement at Lila, saying, "You seemed to have formed your own little fan group, haven't you?"
Are you jealous? Or should we pretend to fawn over the 12? Would that be nice?
I can understand the subtleties of magics may go far over your heads. Where this is concerned, we certainly didn't observe every detail, no. What we observe is a balance. We use spells of divination to attempt to understand the outcome of a situation on the whole. Then, for the greater good, we arrive where need be and put a stop to the evil that occurs. Should there be people within that town or that city that suffer, we make sure to send representatives from the administration there as a precaution, though it is not their job or their role to finish that battle. They are there to observe, to see what needs to be done, and then to report back. What Lila has done is overstep her responsibility. Therefore, she will be retrained. What she has also done is converted a lot of you to her cause, and for that she is to be admired, of course. To be celebrated, yes. The town owes her. Owes you all.
I think also the 12 do.
We as the 12 do not want to finish what you have started, as you so well put. We will do this discreetly and without praise. We do not want to be worshipped. We want the
I just for a
good.
moment think about all the statues in Shard. Like for a moment you just see.
We want for the evil to be squashed, culled, and then remembered as a lesson for the people who remain. And that's where you come in.
And if that's the case, then who is the Lady of Lips? Because you must have some idea. If the 12 are all-knowing, like you say, or not all-knowing, but particularly dabbling in divination, you must have some idea. And I think it scares the 12. Because why else would this information be hidden?
Information is hidden for a number of reasons.
Oh, I'm not asking for a lesson on why information is hidden. I'm just asking for an answer.
Well, this particular group is beyond our sight for now. Divination hasn't been successful. I would ask at this point that you do not share this information with many.
I'm sure you'll find out if we do.
We will. But that is not a threat, it is only an ask, because we do not want the general population to be concerned. There are powerful forces at play against us. And we have to do this discreetly because of that fact. We don't want for them to know our next move. We fight for the people, but for the greater good. The Lady of Lips, for all that we know, are currently in Karnath, moving swiftly, gaining power. They are here, in and around Vedica. They act on the border between the Talenta Plains and Karnath. They have infiltrated the Maror holds, and they act in Korth, most of all. They have risen. Now this you should know, that we also are aware of. They have risen in all of that purpose, in all of that explanation. They are beings that shroud themselves in the history of Karnath, that come from the old rules and the old laws and see them as true, just, and right. They fight under the cover of darkness. The Coven The information that I provide should not embolden you, should not give you courage. Do not seek them out. Do not try and find them, for they will find you first if you go looking. And you think you may be helping, but you will simply expose our moves, that of the administration, and they will go into hiding again.
They must have some source of power, though, whether it be something, someone, some sort of a leader. They all do.
Think of the Lady of Lips as both the name of this coven and its leader.
Okay, but the leader must have some sort of a name.
Names are less important than other factors, such as their location.
I beg to differ. Names uproot history. Knowing someone's name is knowing their story, knowing their origin, being able to trace them back to their beginning. If you can trace someone back to their beginning, then you can learn what made them rise to their power, and if you know that, then you know how to stop them. So the name is important.
Agreed.
So what is it?
The information is yet to be uncovered.
Right.
Should the threat of Vedica be saved, should Vedica be saved, I know then that it would put quite a dent in their plans to expand. That is what I am here to do today. The information I have received was valid and true, and within good time. Therefore, I know my quarry. And I thank you once again for your time with Lila as she observed with you. But now I must depart. Should you run aground with information again, please don't hesitate to contact the administration and let them know. It will filter back up to us eventually. Before I leave, it is a rare thing, should you have any questions for me, any other, perhaps information that I've yet to come to understand.
I mean, you've said you've come here to save Vedica. From what exactly? It's secure here at the moment.
Well, from what I hear, there is evidence of perhaps undead that still wander or have gone underground. A Captain Gerald, and perhaps any brethren or associates he is summoning.
Well, you said yourself you are aware of the Lady of Lips potentially having outposts along the borders. Are you aware of Fort Bone?
Once I am done here, Fort Bones is my next stop.
And hey, I'll pray tell, will you get there?
I have my ways. I will use magic, but not nothing as so fancy, but for flying. I will arrive there swiftly with my spells.
Yes?
Sounds like a good opportunity to accompany.
I doubt she will let us go with her.
Do you have your own airship here?
No. I will take myself with the speed of the wind.
We happen to know of one that's already moored here?
A slower process to what I have in mind, but feel free to go against my wishes and follow me there on a slower airship and see the result of the success I will bestow upon Fork Bones.
What do you know of how they recruit their people? Because it seems like they might be doing this at a distance with magics.
There are several ways that we have seen over the years that they recruit. Most of the time, it is actually by their will. The false promises of power and strength and greed and everlasting life. What more can you really want as mortal beings that we are? So those less willed are going to join that coven. They're going to be a part of the Lady of Lips.
Has anything like this ever happened before? In all the years of Corvair's history?
There are always rumors of things like this happening, though the rumors have never been proven to be true. There were always vampires, these beings that most closely match the descriptions we have received. Perhaps another coven like that is beginning to emerge. These are beings of terrible power. Not many can match their strength. And should they form more and more of these accomplices, of these recruits, then we will be on the back foot. So we must stamp this out.
You keep saying we, but you don't want us to be involved. It's an interesting choice of words.
We are the 12.
Can I roll insight on that?
Sure. What are you looking for?
I just feel like the we is not the 12.
Oh, okay, sure.
17.
From what you can tell, so far up until this point, she's being very matter-of-factly. The only hint you get is one of impatience at more than anything. Yeah. It's as though she really wants this conversation to end, and she's, as the minutes go by, she's trying to be more pointed to end topics, but nothing deceitful that you can see.
Cool.
She seems to refer to the 12.
Cool. So let's keep this nice and blunt. When's the last time one of these rumors was closest related to Corvair's history? It's the last time something like this happened. Because even if it's a rumor, it could be true.
Over 200 years ago.
Okay. What happened?
There are no rumors of any particular group that had risen. The one that is persistent, that is deemed now ridiculous. But you wanted rumors, so I will give them to you.
Why not?
Do I get the feeling this is going to be a long conversation?
Do you need to pee?
No. Grab her a mug of ale.
If you want, in the meantime, you can grab one. As you
top up.
As you
I
call,
think it's a good idea.
as you call over the barkeep, Vugbo comes back over and silently looks up in awe at this woman that's appeared, pours the beers silently and leaves.
See her glass shoes.
Lady Avalea says, rumor had it some 200 years ago that the person who had risen to the throne of Carneth was in fact a vampire himself. Caius the First. Since then, his son, Caius the Second, and then grandson Caius the Third, had since ascended the throne after him, and it was deemed then a folly rumour for his son, and then his grandson continued his line.
They were all human.
All human.
So
That's
it just the line died out.
No, the line continues with his grandson, Caius III, who now sits on the throne.
Okay.
And is also a vampire.
No, only Caius I was rumoured to be a vampire. But that was quickly forgotten and quashed when his son succeeded the throne and then his son after him.
Right.
And then Caius I passed away. But that's all. That's the only rumour, vampire or undead-like, though Carnath has a history of necromancers and armies of undead fighting the Warforged of Sire back in the last war that unified all the countries before the Great War with Fraser Blue. It really was a country of very particular laws. But now that has been outlawed as well, and until only very recently, we hadn't heard of any undead creatures being a part of this country's history. Now, it is scaring the nobles, it is scaring the officials.
Oh no, not the nobles.
And it is scaring Korth. They, or the people who are needing to hear this, have heard of the happenings in Vedica. And so, they as well have their own means to contact us. So we've known about this for some time. Now, if you'll excuse me.
So off just like that to go destroy the Fort Bones.
I will remain here for a time and find the perpetrator, this Captain Gerald, and any of his associates, and then once that is clean, once Vedica is cleaned of his evil, I will then move on to Fort Bones, yes.
And why... Do you know where Captain Gerald is?
No, not. I have simply only just arrived, but I will use my magic to understand his location and find him quickly. This has all come about because of a sudden urge for Vedica to be saved possibly before its time. Be aware that things may have looked quite different, in a good or bad way, should I not have been contacted under such urgency.
What do you mean before its time?
I wasn't supposed to be here yet.
As in, you can prophesize the future?
They did say about divination, so...
Some can.
Even I knew about that.
Some can, yes. Though these divination spells can be somewhat crude, others can be quite powerful and accurate. It was said that I should not be here yet, though Lila had said that that was something of... she called me with some urgency.
From my limited understanding, and I would agree, that can be quite crude, this type of divination that you speak of has an outcome that one would be working towards. You must know what the goal is then. What is the outcome you're foreseeing to have the city in potential ruin, if it's before its time?
She looks at you with more of an interested look now, and she's almost wanting to think about saying something, and she makes a decision, and she says out loud, "To some, the outcome would be weal and woe."
Which one have you asked for?
To that effect, I had asked, was my arrival in Vedica too hasty? And will it have a lasting effect on the town and beyond? Weal and woe. Now, should that concern you, I can understand why. But what is done is done. Now that I am here, I will not sit idly by and watch things disintegrate, watch more lives be lost. But the outcome, well, I have an ill feeling about it. If you'll excuse me.
Just before you go,
She's like,
I detected your mocking tone when we stood up for Lila's deeds. But we did that because she inspired that through her actions. And just a word of caution. We look for weaknesses in beasts of the forest. They're not always so obvious, but yours is. Your self-assuredness, it extends far beyond confidence into arrogance. I don't know if you have a full grasp on your enemy. If you truly are here to help, I wish you all the best. But watch your flank. If you don't have any concern about it, it may be what ends you.
I am always cautious, and I thank you for the advice and the warning. You know the beast in the forest with the red eyes.
What do you know of it?
It is not for me to reveal. I wish you all long and healthy lives. And she turns.
inside now.
And she leaves. She walks back, and like she arrived, she steps up those spiral staircases.
Lila's staying with us?
Lila looks like she's still there.
Cool.
Lady Everleia looks down at her hands, which are still hadn't moved within her sleeves, and she is walking back up the stairs, and she walks out of sight.
She's got no hands.
Lila is silent for a little while. Would you like to do anything while she still continues to almost act as though Lady Everleia is still there?
You can get up now, Lila.
Oh my god, what a bitch. It was so difficult not to just be all aggro at her.
Why is it so difficult to get information out of anyone? What are these people hiding?
I don't know.
Don't look at me.
She's a very
I would have
frustrating
been more
woman.
forthcoming, particularly if she's praying for outcomes.
Go and offer my hand to Lila to help her up.
She gets up, and as she does, Ulthan, who was there the whole time but staying silent, just looks into his mug and he mumbles, "Well, we all have something to hide. I guess not all of us have the will or the need for now to spit out every truth. Should we have done that and be honest with each other and ourselves, then it could turn out well, but it may not. So
It's like a PowerPoint presentation.
in time,
Mansplaining, real or worty.
in time, once we're all the bestest of friends, perhaps family.
Are you gonna spit this out anytime soon?
He's having a moment. Let him have it.
I'm trying to explain this. It's like
I think you've lost your words.
it's like someone's in a costume, and they're just they haven't shedded it yet. You know, you're trying to look at someone and you're trying to get to know them. They just need time.
Well, I'm glad we had this very...
Is he talking about you?
No.
I was looking at Rin, actually.
Oh, right.
What? We
wants you
buried the hatchet.
He wants you to shed your...
No, your fur is beautiful.
Hey, thank you.
Maybe I'm just a little
Do
drunk.
you molt?
Yeah, like when it's hot, but it's not hot at the moment, so my coat will get all thick.
Interesting.
Maury. The 12 introductions.
He smiles to himself and he says,
That's just one of them. There's 11 more. Potentially
Fuck.
all identical.
Yeah, they're all identical twins.
I am not. I'm certainly not looking forward to meeting all of them, if that is the character of one. They seem quite upstart, and they seem quite too important for themselves. Though, without her being aware, I did come to understand some of her power. There are very few of the Undying Court who could match it. She has every right to be confident, but she just shows it in the incorrect way.
So she's like the evil one of the 12.
I wouldn't go to say that.
Not like evil as in like ill-intentioned, but like the sinister one.
It's sort of similar.
No.
I wonder if any of the others are as sinister.
I hope not. To be honest, I haven't had much to do with the 12 at all. Outside
I
of
mean,
reading the
would
stories.
that not be a pattern of history repeating itself? Ivor gave us the 12's history lesson.
If they're all that powerful.
Yeah, but could you imagine like a meeting with all of them if they all act like that?
Oh, it would be a bit boring. I know I can be a bit to the point, but
I would imagine that as a group they would be quite a little more, because they are surrounded by their equals, I could imagine they would be more behaved. She just seemed like she was looking down on all of us, even me. She didn't seem to acknowledge much that I am...
Which was a bit interesting because they seemed hell broke on getting you to the tower.
Perhaps afterward when, and if Lady Avalea rids Vedica of this heinous evil, perhaps I am an afterthought. Though, still an important one, hopefully. Hopefully I can still share my knowledge, and they find this useful. I think there is still benefit to having us work together, the 12 and Aranol, but they certainly have their agenda.
Lila, you okay? I hope we didn't make anything worse for you, but it was difficult to not
No, it wouldn't have
say
been
anything
so
with
big
that
lie.
condescending tone she had.
Thank you. I'm fine. But... And you can see through her, just looking a little deeper into the shadow that hides her face. It looks like a tear's forming in her eye. Tears are forming in her eyes. And with a slightly shaking voice, she says, I have been overstepping my mark, it seems.
Have you ever thought about quitting?
I owe them too much.
Like what? What can you possibly owe them?
It is not my place to say.
I think it is. Because if it's something you owe, then is that not your independent thought, your thought property? You have every right to share that.
I've been otherwise summoned back to Korth. that is my journey now.
Have you heard of cults before?
I have.
And you understand that the entire thought process behind a cult is that they emotionally manipulate you, mentally, into feeling like you need them to belong?
I do. I understand that concept, yes.
And are you not stringing these thought processes together to maybe... I'm not calling the 12 a cult, I'm just saying this is very cult-like behavior.
Though they may be distasteful to deal with, they are the protectors of this realm.
I'm not dismissing that.
And
But they couldn't protect the realm without people like Lila, and they don't need to make her feel smaller or like she owes her life to them.
well, I don't think that's something that you quite need to share with us, if you don't wish to. But Kalani is correct as well.
Are you happy?
I feel safe.
That's not what I asked.
Happiness is not a factor here.
Yes, it is.
I feel lost,
Join the club.
but I feel like I would be more lost in the wilderness and more comforted and protected staying.
If you feel like you're stuck in the wilderness, have you heard of someone called Bellinor?
Shut up. I didn't mean to tell you all that.
I'm not listening. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm just saying that I have been in a situation where I felt safe, but I certainly wasn't happy. And it wasn't an easy thing to leave that safety. But it was ultimately a lot happier when I did. And I'm not telling you that that's what you have to do. I'm just saying consider that you only get to live this lifetime once. One day you will die.
Unless you're a vampire.
Well, unless that. One day you will die. If that were to be tomorrow, would you be happy with how you lived your life?
I think
I don't want a calculated answer.
well, my gut feeling tells me that the administration is not a cult.
That's, yeah. Again, not what I said.
And I've been there all my life. And I feel safe there. And if you feel happier now than when you were safer, then that is such a I respect that, and I envy it.
Don't need to.
But I don't know whether I can emulate it.
Don't know unless you try.
Are you saying I feel like I'm needing... What will I do if I quit? Where will I go?
Up to you. Anywhere.
How will I live?
You'll figure it out.
Like Rin.
Like
I
Rin.
was the rich ones.
I was 11 when I left my home.
I've yet to leave my home. I
I'm
do
just
not
saying.
know anything about the wilderness or about... I have been kept shut.
No individual experience is the same as the next. but you should have your individual experience. I'm not saying leave now or tomorrow or whenever, but just saying make sure that you evaluate each day. Once again, if it was your last, what would you regret? What, Locke? What's funny to you?
I'm not entirely sure Layla may have that
Luxury?
luxury.
Why?
Perhaps because of the bond she's made with the 12 in the ministry.
Yeah, maybe not. But I also, if the 12 are as good as they say they are, I don't think they would be the type to hunt her down and kill her should she decide to leave.
Perhaps not, but I can imagine leaving a life like that would be somewhat difficult.
They take care of me. They've made me the magic user I am today. Without those skills,
Which is something that very few people in this country would be able to achieve.
without those skills, I don't know where I would be. I know that I wouldn't have magic. I know that for certain. And I think my life would be less adventurous, less than it is now. Though it doesn't come with freedom, I'm not a prisoner.
Is adventure what you want?
What I want, I cannot have.
What do you want?
I want both happiness and to feel safe. But my life has not turned out that way.
Well, perhaps you can still reach it.
How?
Whatever it is you're endeavoring to do, once you complete it, you may have those things. This is something I wish for as well.
I think... Go on.
I think to Kalani's point, there's probably a lot of people that wish to have that.
Do you have freedom?
Yes, I do.
Even though you're kind of prejudiced?
Of course. I'm not bound by the misunderstandings of others.
Are you happy, Rin?
Well, I mean, sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes.
Did you see him 10 minutes ago? He was pretty happy.
I don't know. Maybe seeing as how we're learning about wheel and woe a lot at the moment, you can define the wheel in the woe by looking at
rolling on
it,
through life.
If you are overstepping your bounds when you helped Mori, I guess the wheel in that is that by helping him, you gave him, I guess, everything. Without what you did, he wouldn't be here, most likely.
I know I did more here than what Lady Avalea had said. She can't change that.
Which does bring me to a question. I guess knowing what I know about the conversation we've had. Have you known her to always be guided by divination? Or is this something new to you?
No, she has always been... Her and her equals, the other members of the 12, have that skill.
Skill, of course, but relying on it as base to make choices, particularly with... It's one thing to pray and be guided on the day and what may happen beyond a point that you may be unsure of, but it's never 100%. You've seen me use this, and the best I can do is, I mean, at times, obviously not as skilled as they are, but at times we still need to make a choice with our own heart and intuition, even if it is woe. Sometimes the moral compass of not letting the people of the city die is a better outcome than sitting by and waiting. It concerns me a little that someone so powerful, would leave so much up to ultimately chance.
There is one positive aspect of her. She said weal and woe, both, not just weal. If she'd have thought, well, thankfully she's not the kind of person that would not be here. She's not here to... She's here because of weal and woe, not just weal.
So
she's not expecting a good outcome. She's expecting both.
I understand. At least she made it an action instead of waiting.
That is right. They're not overly bad people. They are just...
I don't think that they
misguided by their own grandeur.
That may be it. Us looking upon them. I don't expect that I need to know every comings and goings of the 12.
Not that they'll let you.
Did it at least feel good to hear people talk back at her a little bit? I kind of felt like that last blow I landed.
It did
was pretty good.
It did feel very good,
It was
yes.
quite nice.
Yeah,
yes.
You put a ribbon on that. You woed her. That was the woe, maybe.
Yeah, that's your
Getting a
wheel.
scolding.
That's a little bit of wheel for you.
Getting a scolding from you. I bet she feels real bad.
I need a drink.
Vugbo comes back with another ale for you. Nightwood ale.
I would say that we should all maybe not you, have
No.
one.
What's wrong with him? He's already had a couple.
Maybe have a half size
No, I don't know if
around
that's a good
the
idea.
table. Have some juice, maybe.
Yeah, I have some juice. Do you have juice?
It was water, wasn't it? Only.
Water and ale.
Yeah.
I'd have a water.
It's a bit boring.
Maybe we go sit down, spend the rest of the day doing nothing.
Might take your mind off it if you help me with these incarnations.
Lila thinks for a moment and says, I will help you. Finish off. But I've been summoned back. So I have to choose. I have to make a decision now. If I don't, well, it is just something I must do.
Do we augur you?
I can't let any more influence wash over me.
I'm joking.
But I appreciate your offer. As she sits down for a drink, over the next little while, she thinks, and also...
I cast mending on her eyes.
What?
That works for her crying.
Jesus.
Though she doesn't cry anymore, she in fact thinks her eyes are quite dry in comparison.
Not that I can actually do that.
She finishes off with you and Ivor the last intricacies of the spell. And in fact, the spell that you now together can cast is Aura of Life.
Aura of life.
Stop it.
It takes 10 minutes to cast as well. Sorry, it's just an action to cast, but it's a 10-minute concentration. But
okay.
It should be an official spell.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aura
so
of
I'll
Life.
look up Aura of
Yeah.
Life. Okay.
And during that next hour of conversation, is there anything else you want to do while Ulthen and his sons come and go during that time? Maury, halfway through the hour, goes up to investigate and just continues to be curious about the dwarves and their forge and their hospital above, and asks lots of questions. Lila, after she finishes off her incantation knowledge to you, and Ivor, she sits in relative silence unless you want to bring up any other conversation. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably be studying this for a bit.
Yeah.
Do you still want to meet the 12? So, Maury.
Oh, I'd like that very much. I think I can push past the arrogance of these mages to come to understand what they really know. I think they can provide an amazing trade of knowledge and goods through their universities and schools. I think it would still be quite beneficial, yes.
Do you feel that this is still the safest way of doing that? There are other houses in Shan and some of the bigger cities where you might be able to get an audience with one of the other 12, as opposed to perhaps this one you've just met.
Oh, I'm not really fussed, and I'm taking this slowly. You know, I think if I rush through this, I might not get any of the little small nuances and cultural differences that I would otherwise pick up. So I wonder, after this town above is saved, what my next move will be, and I think it will be a travel, as small as it is, towards Korth.
You're starting to sound like Kalani.
In what way?
Life is a journey.
Ah, yep. And I want to ride it.
All night long.
Never said that.
But yes, I think
It's not
as
a journey
much
because it's not a destination. You just end up in the ground.
What a cheery disposition.
Yes.
more
Sure you don't want that bit.
morbidity aside, yes. Though it has been amazing to travel with you all, perhaps if you're not going to head towards Korth, I may need to, just for my own requirements of being here.
Well, I mean, we still need to visit the mayor. Perhaps stay with us just a little bit longer, see how this unfolds. It sounds like the city's secure. We still need to hear back from Captain Truce. Troon.
Yep.
After that, also depending on you, Lila. You, Lila.
Whoa.
Perhaps we may have to split ways. Perhaps I could still travel with you. I'm not too sure what you all would like to do after this. If things are secure and...
I don't know about how secure, but I definitely feel like there's some information for me in Korth.
I like to move around.
Yes, we do have to follow up with that letter.
Yeah, well, that's where that, what was it, Alevic or something?
Yeah, maybe we should bring that out and reread that.
I'm a little bit worried because it mentioned them going to the Reaches, but it said the short people, and that can't be us.
Lila, at that point, says, I've got it.
What
And she smiles slightly to herself. And she says, almost to herself, but her voice does carry. I'm going to do it.
Shots?
Yes.
Okay.
Mouse Pie is my favorite.
I'm going to tell them. I'm going to go there, and I'm going to tell them that I need a change. It may not be forever, but you are right. I need some time to do something different. I'm going to move on from the administration.
Signed her death letter.
But there is one thing. One ask, one favor. You were so helpful. And you've been so kind to speak up for me in front of Lady Avalea. I'm wondering if
If you need a reference check, I'm no good at that.
perhaps just not you, but could I bother you with accompanying me to the administration center in Korth to hand in my resignation?
Cool.
I would be very honored if I could have your voices beside mine to help them understand why. And I guess help me overcome my fear of the unknown. You've accompanied me to this point, and I don't want... I want to build my confidence. And I think I can start by doing that by being around you a little more, just to Korth. If you're sick of me by then, I can make my own way. But
Well, doesn't Maury need to go there too? We can... 2 birds. 1 non-lethal stone.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to go there to look into that letter.
Yeah.
Plus, I don't know, you still got that bone. Maybe the other ones might not be as arrogant as that one.
Maybe we can actually get you that sit down with Farizo.
Is he like nicer than the rest or something? Everyone seems to love him.
Yeah. Learn more about the origin of all the demons and stuff.
Well, yes, that would be interesting. After whom we've just met, I won't hold my breath for that. But
Oh, neither will I, but you don't get if you don't ask.
that is true. All right, then after tying up the loose ends here, we're going to Korth.
What loose ends do we have? We can just go.
Well, are we going to leave everything up to her?
She said to, so...
I mean, realistically, though, it would be a adventure probably to our deaths if we took the airship to the fort and it was truly infested with undead. It's got high walls and bastions and keeps. There's
But
very
we'd
little
also
the
be
6
very
of us-
fucked. Yeah.
There's very little the 6 of us would be able to do against that. Even with your amazing skills, we wouldn't all be able to sneak in there.
You've noticed, have you?
I have, yes.
And say to Korth.
And it's not like we could charge in there either.
Yeah, well, let's find Troon, because he owes us money.
Yeah. And we also need to get our table off the lieutenant.
To what?
Maury's table.
oh yes, if you could.
What are we going to do with it?
I could, in the meantime, find us perhaps a cart.
I was just about to say, perhaps.
You want to take the table with you?
Well, no, not necessarily. I could simply I could help it make its way back to Arenal. So perhaps we just go and acquire it, and then I'll mail it off.
Perfect.
Hey, sounds like a quest, I4. You ever mail a table?
Yeah, can we stick
make
the table?
sure
No, I can't do that.
Just make sure you don't eat a kebab first.
Lila says, I thank you very much, sincerely. I think with you there, I will be able to actually go through with it.
All right.
A couple of loose ends, but let's get
Anything
that
goes
underway.
awry. I've got some sweet armor on now.
Yeah, that looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I might cover it up a little bit with a cloak. A little bit too fancy for this place.
Yeah, see, maybe I should tuck this into like,
Yeah.
and I'll. I
Yeah,
guess
what
make
what
it.
else can you pull out of
We
it?
should have you thought. I don't mean any.
You take out of this little pouch what looks to be a small necklace. The necklace seems to have a glass jewel or something on it. It's not diamond. It looks fairly mundane, but within there looks to be a swirling water. But the swirling water doesn't appear to cease, even if it's still. Like waves of an ocean, it seems to just, within this small crystal, it seems to simply move as though it's following a current.
Hey, that one's pretty cool.
It's really cool.
Well, you should wear it.
I don't look good in jewelry.
Well, okay.
How do you?
It's yours anyway.
Thanks.
As you take
Pop it
it,
in my pocket.
as you take the necklace, Ivor looks down towards that larger golden necklace around his chest now and admires it somewhat for its beauty. You look down at that musket briefly again, feel the warmth from the firing of it, and and remember the aiming that you did and the learning that you produced. And you reach down again into the pocket of this this little bag, and you pull out another smaller, what looks to be just a Brazil nut. And you look down at your armor, and you admire the make, the mastery, and the dwarven intricacies with its magic. And as you all finish your drinks to go up to the surface again to look for Captain Troon, we'll finish there for the evening as you all level up.
Hey, bam bam.
While I level up, I'm going to do a little bit of an experiment. I'm going to eat the Brazil nut and then see if I feel hungry in 10 minutes.
Okay, sure.
What?
No worries.
The Brazil nut didn't fill your stomach to begin with, so yes.
Yeah, but I don't normally eat.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. I hope you enjoyed the session. It was lovely. I'm lovely to be here again.
Not you though, Sheldon.
Yeah, look, we miss you.
Good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Roll credits. See you later.
Roll credits. Have a good night, everybody. We're going to raid Crit and Miss before they can raid us. But no, Crit and Miss are amazing. Stay around for them and say hi. And we'll see you all hopefully soon. Take care, everybody. Have a
Next
good night.
Tuesday.
Next Tuesday. We'll
Bada
be
bing, bada boom.
here. Ciao, ciao.